heroes and just keep picking good heroes, you just feel very good the whole time.
And it's Liquid who have that hot seat for this one as well, since they are going to be with the they get that double pick in the middle, but the final pick is going over to Aster. Be a little bit more cognizant of those lane matchups that are potentially coming out.
So a couple other interesting things to watch, taking away some of that cheese, the broodmother that has been so prevalent all over the place. And then, of course, on the other side for Aster, they're taking away the Matumba Man Lone Druid. That I feel like if you're Liquid, you're going to take that almost every chance that you get in the second phase. But still, with the very openings, we'll see which way they opt to go next.
Yeah, for Liquid right now, they want a core that goes in, which is why the Lone Druid and the Pudge are both banned. The Shadow Fiend's going to end up being their carry. They have a Marcy already to buff it up. So looking at maybe some Mars, some Legion Commander even, just anything that will go in the fights. And that's primarily what Aster's going to try to prepare their pick for.
I feel like for Liquid, they're 3-4-5 as well. Like they have such, like their identities stay very stable as the players. Like they always tend to play the same heroes themselves, right? You're gonna have, of course, Boxy looking for this. Like I always look to the clock and the tusk, but the Marcy, of course, when she gets in, you want the Marcy. You gotta be there for the sidekick. But he's always able to set up these great fights for them. He's never afraid to jump into the fog when he thinks it's gonna be a good follow. He plays the exact opposite. He's like almost always way back on that.
Sakit din tong SF eh.
At naamoy ko na yung sarili ko.
lang. Kailangan na maligo.
Amoy nature. Amoy amoy kalikasan.
Amoy low strike. Amoy low strike, boy.
Amoy low strike, pre. Parang ganon. Parang amoy kahapon ng talo.
Shadow Fiend kasi kayang mag-right click niyan from afar. Tapos may babuff pa siya rito nung Marcy. Taas ng win rate ngayon yan, Crystal Maiden. One of the most pick hero ngayon yan eh.
Ano tong SF na to? Pause 1 to? O mid yan?
Possible pause.
Pause 1 eh, no?
Possible pause 1, possible mid din. Kasi right clicker na yan eh, hindi na siya mina-magic type talaga eh.
Pwede na kasi i-magic yan dahil sa 25 talent niya, di ba? Yung nagiging damage yung yung race.
Oo. Ang i-utilize kasi nila rito yung niya eh, yung shard niya eh.
Pre, baka naman dinagdagan mo pa yung shot niya na.
Talagang sobrang nakikita ko ngayon more on right clicker na yung Shadow Fiend.
Right click.
Kape na ako.
Pinakita yun ni RTZ no laban nila with Thunder Awaken, kaso kulang lang talaga siya sa ron eh. Sa tank or tagasalo ng damage.
Siya yung sumasalo eh.
DP mid.
That Prophet mid.
Safe lane
Pwede pa nga ito mag-offline eh.
Hindi DP eh. Pwede pa silang mag-mid isa. Depende pa.
Depende pa yan. Oh, yan.
Pero sa nakikita ko ngayon, medyo wala pa ako nakikita ang beefy hero sa side ng Liquid, no?
Uy, sniper!
Paano sasabay? Wala nga akong pera! Hindi.
Bigyan mo ng pera, Mer.
Bakit sa akin? Paano papasok yan ni Jig-Ash?
Saan tayo game 1, boss?
Mid ila last pick nila, no, pre?
Kalmahin
lang, nakalimutan ko na mag-cash in kasi di naman ako nagka-cash in.
Aster lamang dito sa apat sa 4v4, Aster.
Safe lane nila rito, pwedeng sniper. Pwede rin mag-mid ang
Aster ako, pre. Bakit mo ako kinukontra?
Depende yan sa pickings eh. Pwede mag-sniper. Ay, hindi, safe.
Sa 4v4, na hero na to, lamang Aster.
Flexible kasi ang Leshrac. Leshrac can go either mid lane or mag-support siya.
Dali, open mo dyan rivalry ko.
Gulo nung pick ng Aster eh, no?
Hindi pa naglag ang boom. Sila Boss B, guys. Kasama na si Boss B.
Visage ulit offlane.
Uy, oo, naalala ko nung si Cage nung sumakay
sa Discord nila.
Doon sa trend, nanalo kami pareho.
Kaban.
Baka swerte na si Cage.
Nakita nila kung ano yung capability ng Visage kanina eh.
Unat eh, no?
One of the most annoying hero ngayon yan.
Hindi mo, Riz. Cash in. Hindi, nung nag-cash in pa ako last year pa. Last TI pa. So yung nakaraan kong, itong ginagamit ko, panalo ko pa yun last year. So hindi pa ako nag-cash in.
Oh?
Oo, nakalimutan ko may pera pala ako dito.
sobrang
nakakalimutan yung pera. Ako, pati yung 10 peso na may 10 na yun, alam ko eh.
Sobrang dami pera ni Boss B, guys.
Naalala ko pa. Naalala ko, may naiwan ako 10 piso dito sa ano na to eh.
May bintana, may 2 piso doon, mga ganun.
Tang ina yun, naiwan palang 50k last year pa.
Tapos magkamali na naman ng pick to.
Biancake, yes boss. Si Boss B. Boss Biancake. Shoutout boss Rick. Lamang Aster dito sa drop na to guys, game 1. Pero tingnan natin yung last pick. Tingnan natin yung last pick. Maganda Night Stalker. Pag nag-Night Stalker yung Liquid, may chance na makaabante tong Liquid. Pag nag-Night Stalker sila.
Pahirapan sa last pick eh.
Liquid doesn't have the best way to save their heroes. I feel like Liquid can just like go anywhere right now.
Night Stalker, isang Night Stalker lang to guys.
Wala pang support yung Aster dito. 4.
Baka 4 na tong
Tier 1.
Aster 4 na to, no?
Bakit? Alas 3 pa ako.
Ay, last drop.
Sabihin mo, alas 3 pa ako.
Tapos offlane yung
Alas 3
Isbeth.
sabihin mo. Oo nga.
Bagay. Post 1 yung sniper eh, no?
Change stand naman.
Hindi, maganda Night Stalker talaga.
Problema dito si
Vision din, Vision.
Binan pa yung Mortling.
Night Stalker, DP mid na yan, DP mid, Night Stalker offlane.
May pango pa, pwede pa sila magpango dito.
Night Stalker yan guys, Night Stalker. Ang gusto nila Mars?
Mars.
Okay rin Mars. Okay rin Mars versus Sniper.
IKEA yan.
Hindi makakapalo pag nasa loob ng arena.
Hirap kasi piliin ng pack sa Liquid, ang lambot na nila eh.
Matumbaman DP, hindi SF yan. Ay baka DP. Baka DP nga si Matumbaman. Di ko pa nakikita nag-SF si Matumbaman. Let's see. Si ano pala yung coach nila si pangalan na ito? Sino matanda na to legendary? Ihong pa lang ng Dota 2. Yung TI1. Teka lang boss, tingnan natin last game last pick ng Aster. Yun, LAN M. Pango.
Ano ba yan? Counter bet or Inbian we trust?
Indian with trust.
Grabe kayo! Samahan nyo! Angry react kayo sa akin. Yan. Angry react.
Angry react.
So yung magbubo.
Liquid to boy? Liquid to boy, game 1 boy?
Ano to? Mars, ano to no? DP mid nga to no, pre?
DP mid yan.
Liquid to boy, game 1. Oh, sino may paggustahan sa akin, game 1. DP. Alis na ako dito sa Discord. Harap ka ako, kalapustahan. Ako na lang harap ng kapustahan, guys. 500 lang. Liquid ako, game 1. Liquid ako, game 1. Sino laban?
The Mars arena, they have a lot of early timings, which I think Aster's
Sino lalaban?
the only big timing right now is the Pango. So I think there's gonna be a lot on the back of the Pango.
Liquid ako, game 1.
Has his team walk to him and always start the fights.
I'm looking forward to see how Boxy performs.
Hello.
Towards this mid lane. Like all these concerns about the lane.
Tayan nyo na guys. Kung ano, tayan nyo Liquid.
Obviously someone that can punish some of these more vulnerable heroes in that mid lane. So it's going to be interesting to see just how maybe greedy he kind of gets playing in the lane.
Aster ka, Boss Joshua. Game.
Across the map.
Just dancing out.
Aster ka? Okay, send mo na sa Gcash. PM ka sa page ko. PM ka sa page ko. Kailangan ma-receive ko muna yung pera bago ano.
Got ourselves a little pause to start this game, but surely.
PM nyo ako sa page ko sa mga gusto.
Rotating booths.
Liquid.
Unbelievable.
PM nyo ako sa page, guys.
No, it's going to be an interesting thing to watch, I think, because you've got every single one of these Aster heroes have like a little weird, pokey, team fighty spell, which I like.
Oo, maganda to. Match lang yung draft. Mahirap din mag-decide eh. Kaso,
it's all really nice there. And then meanwhile on the side of Team Liquid,
Mars kasi yung last pick eh.
big ultimates.
PM nyo ako, guys! PM nyo ako sa page ko, guys! Sa mga gusto lumaban kasi maganda may ano. Kasi ano yun? Usapang hangin. Pangit yung usapang hangin, par. Hindi natin tutuloy. Kailangan ano muna ang ano. Usapang hangin lang yun. Pag PM nyo ako sa page ko. Labanan ko kayong dalawa. Tsaka boss Okage ba to? Okage Sage. Tsaka boss Joshua. Labanan ko kayong dalawa. PM nyo lang ako sa page. Kailangan kasi. Kasi yan, boss. Wala eh.
So it is all in this Pango right now to whether he wants to go Diffusal or Blink, try to set up with rolls and catch. And the scariest thing right now is how much Liquid can do with their BKB timings once they get it. If they can Roche with the Exo, if they can take all their towers with the Shadow.
Wala, di naman nag-PM sa page eh.
And Aster's gonna be happy.
Di ka nagre-reply, di ka naman nag-ano boss eh. Di ka naman nag-text eh. Nag-chat eh.
The decision right now from Aster to wrap around up on the top side. We'll see if Liquid do run into them there or not.
Di ka naman
He's already heading on up to place a ward
PM sa page.
up on that high ground and just holding steady in the mid lane.
Pichu's leading the charge here. Just holding that hammer.
And now, drop down a ward in the jungle.
Ito, si Lester pala nag-PPM sa page. Lester pangalan.
Chu spots out Matumba Man, a quick little sight, and yeah, the pings are there. They immediately realize where they're at.
Just need like one more step. Yeah, just a little bit more that way, and maybe they get the follow-up split earth.
So no chance for a kill there. But do get some wards down. Liquid's unlikely to get taken away since they're sort of staying on their side of the map. And it looks like it's going to be a trade-off of 2 bounty runes apiece.
Liquid has this nice deep ward next to Roshan. I think it's pretty cool because there's a chance Aster swap their lanes up. They put the Shadow Fiend mid, the Leshrac in a side lane, and maybe Liquid will want to swap their lanes up depending on what they see. So
transfer muna kayo na ano. Answer muna.
Fortunately for them, Aster's just doing kind of standard lane. Hango with the CM top, Lesh
Ano account na for sale? Wala naman for sale.
Out of the ordinary right now. Besides the Death Prophet safe lane is a little interesting right now, this patch. It is something Liquid likes running.
Yeah, if they were looking, they're like, yeah, okay, they've just done this like very recently, so shouldn't be too much of a surprise to Aster. And it's actually interesting. We've seen some teams less willing, I think, to swap the heroes and the players. And
Ba't naglalag?
because it's in that safe lane, which Liquid is, they're much more comfortable just doing something like this in this setup because they know that like for the vast
Si Lester pala nag-PM sa page ko eh. Yan, laban ako para ano lang, papakilig.
Which fits in how they want it to play for him. As you can take a look here mid, Shadow Fiend versus Lesh. Gonna get a couple of raised hits on there. Just get one denied out. So I think it's worth noting that this guy, I feel like last year at TI had one of the best performances that we've seen from him in the entire history of his play. And
to be fair, Puck was really broken.
I mean,
yes. This guy's a really good player. No, not to take anything away from Ori.
Right. But when that happened, he ended up getting knocked out by the rest of these teammates here. And
ayun o, meron na si Lester. Si Lester pa lang nakakase. So si Lester lang yung kakalabanin ko, 400 lang. Okay na.
On the bot lane right now, Sniper, once he hits his level 3, level 4 timing, he has some points in headshot.
Okay,
he has some points in shrapnel. That's when the they can just kind of run down.
Si Lester pa lang ang nag-descend, guys.
The Disruptor, a lot
So,
of the time, he
laban na
doesn't
to.
save heroes. He just kind of watches him die. So,
Wala na.
if I walk up a little too far, once the sniper hits level 3, it could be a little scary.
Yeah, I feel like since Undying started
Game
buying
1,
6
Aster
mangoes
to,
and
oli na, guys.
doing the Disruptor thing
Boss
just
Joshua, ano?
weaker. It's just like, no,
Wala
I
ka
can
pala
spam
eh.
two guys.
Ayaw mo na yung kasi.
They just buy 6 mangoes on the support. They just spam their...
Kaya mo na lang ako sa, ano ko, sa FB ko, Dance Anedes.
Maybe a Sal.
You don't need him.
Bawat.
Just moving on forward in life.
Focus muna tayo sa laro to, guys. Maganda tong laro na to. Yun o, nabablock ko. Sayang.
Won't quite be enough there, but even with all those mangoes, at least he'll have some pretty good regen on the CM to try and get back into the lane quickly.
None of the supports have made a move towards mid yet. I think probably at the 4-minute water runs, we could see Boxy move towards mid. If he gets a jump on the Lesh, pulls him back, that's a pretty nice kill for them. Pretty easy on the Lesh.
Certainly the most mobile as well, right? You know,
Boss Lester lang yung nakita ko ha. Lester lang yung nag-PM sa page ko eh. Tapos nag-send ng paas eh. Siya lang yung kalaban natin, guys. So, good luck, Boss Lester kung nanonood ka man. Liquid ako ha. Aster ka. Okay, game.
And of course, both of these heroes very susceptible to getting kills in the mid lane, depending upon their positioning. So we'll have to watch for that.
Di na uso kasi. Iskama na kasi uso eh, no? Ay lang yan, boss. Taya ka na lang. Tayang hangin na lang.
The boots pick up on Zai is going to be really important, but he ends up going for range.
Ayan, si Boss Lester. Ayan, si Boss Lester lang yung kalaban yan. Lester. Good luck, boss. Magandang laban to, magandang laban. Don't you worry. Match lang to, match.
Oh my god, quick jump and kill. And that's the rotation.
Nice rotation.
That's Marcy, right? You know, that's
nice rotation.
All the phones popping up in the audience. Yeah, I see you all. Checking right away. Checking that email. Huh? Yeah?
Oh, yeah. That's what they do. Regardless, that first blood coming on out. And
what? Someone got one. I saw they're celebrating. Nice. Good job.
As Matumbo Man is also going to get a little bit of pressure there on XXS.
Ako, patay ka na, boy! Patay ka na, boy! Isa pang mama chup-chup. Isa pang first kill. Isa pang lahat.
This is one of those heroes that really can't get...
Shishabol! Shishabol!
It's one of the worst feelings when you die after like Swashbuckle too.
Zai, Chase, continued to run down. Monet right on top of him along with Pichu, but it's not quite enough. Dodges back behind the trees and keeps himself alive. Maybe a spear through the trees looking for a kill. Can they get it? Doesn't quite look like it as he was salvaged.
Oh, tayo na naman si Bobo ka!
Top lane while this is happening, but 3-0 start for Liquid.
All off the back of the Marcy rotations. He gets level 3, TP's...
Saka dito, liquid. Ayan, kalaban ko yung Lester. Nandyan na yun, na good luck. Kalaban natin, guys. Naganap na lang ako ng kalaban. Ayaw nyo mamalato eh. Pag nanalo, tapos pag natatalo. Sus!
You know, Shadow Fiend just kind of crushing mid now.
Yeah, it's going to be a really hard game as well. Like, if Monet gets off to a good start, like, trying to find the sniper in the back line, you know, we don't have one of those classic counters. Some of those classic counters don't feel like very good heroes right now.
Pustang laway-laway din mapapanalunan.
Easy answer.
True.
Like, oh, easy, but that's a good way to do it, though. You catch him right.
Uy.
A stun there.
Spear.
Keeps him alive and well.
Yun lang, si Lods. Nice block. Patay ata si Zai. Hindi ko mama kasi yung spear, walang niya. Dapat di manalos ng lane siya na dito. Maganda mangyari dito, mamatay agad sa Arena of Blood si ano eh. Si Lesh. Magkaroon lang ng item yung si Insane niya ng Aganims, panalo na.
Amazing for them just outside of the bot lane. And they need the Pango 6 to be able to rotate to the side lanes. The Lushrak has some play on mid, but anytime the Shadow Fiend is just having a stable, strong lane, you don't really want to bring heroes to the lane.
Yan nalagaan mo yun, Boxy.
Opportunities to get more kills.
Tong ina mo. Dogs, di ka talaga dok. Tama lang yan, aggression talaga yan. Nabalatuan ako kahapon, no? Nabalatuan ako 500. Nibel Ed ba yan? Maraming salamat pala sa nagbalato. Ngayon wala na siya, hindi na nanonood. Ewan ko baka nasa ibang page. Nabalatuhan tayo kahapon ni boss. Panalo yun sa EG Thunder, dalawang taya niya. Binalatuhan ako 1K. Easy. 1K taya niya. Match winner 1K, match winner game 1. Game 1 1K, game 2 1K ulit sa Thunder. Kaya binalatuhan ako 1K. Kaya ang ganda ng odds kahapon ng Thunder. Dehado.
It ends up waiting till like level 7 or level 8 to get popped anyway when people tend to get it like at this part because like someone has to rotate, you're waiting for other allies to be ready to use it. Oh, that's good.
And in fact, if they can get this kill, this would be huge. Success able to dodge the raise but has another one in a second.
Yung maganda dyan, yung maganda gusto kong teamwork talaga yung lumilima yung laro si Bobo ka Bobo ka talaga ang bolaklak kasi nga papasok kay Reyna tapos nagpakita, buti nagpakita, buhay na sana siya. Uy, pati yung grabe naman talaga mag-TP si Mato. Grabe naman si Mato dun. From the bottom to the top. Grabe si Mato dun From the top to bottom pala, from the bottom to the top to lane. Wala na boss, si Boss Dance. Di na siya kalbo
Every play now is probably going to involve 2 cores in the lane. Whether it's the Shadowfiend, the Mars Death Prophet, they're always going to want them to play together.
Naku po, sabay Rekem! Naku po! Mato, ginagawa mo dyan. Chup-chupin mo na lang. Sige, isa pang chup-chup sa CM. Isa pang chup-chup, boy ka dyan, boy! Isa pang chup-chup, boy ka dyan, boy! Hanggang sa dulo ng ating walang hanggan. Yun lang. Nag-TP rin si XXS. Galing. Sayang. Okay lang. Basta namamatay yung carry.
Hope is the most dangerous thing, Trent.
At the same time, Disruptor's getting some beauty time in the top lane, almost level 6.
Hanggang sa dulo ng ating wala. Mataas energy natin ngayon kasi may pusta tayo Ito may kalaban ako dyan. Nasa dyan sa comment section guys. Si Lester, ayan, 400. Shoutout sa'yo boss, Richie, Abinoa. Salute sa'yo bossing, shoutout sa'yo bossing.
Aster still keeping an eye on everything that happened top because Boboka's running back there now with sentries. Like he has not forgotten. He's like we lost that.
Ang ingay mo boy. Hindi mo ka manood. Ay. Diyos ko. Kaya nga party, watch party. Tahimik na lang ako.
Right now for Aster is a lot of their heroes want a lane. Pango wants us in a lane, Sniper wants us in a lane. Leshrax's somewhat comfortable going to the jungle just because of how fast he farms, but on the side of Liquid, they're giving lanes to Disruptor for free. They don't really need, they don't feel the need to sit in all their lanes. They just feel the need to group up and force plays.
And that's the power of Marcy, right? So like, I think that's why Boxy, like, it's just Marcy, Clockwork, Tusk. Like, it just lets them do this exact same style every time.
Scan was able to hit there. Liquid walk up the hill after the fact and now going to try and contest this stack that's been built up a little. It's 3 camps and one of them's the Mud Golem, so not easy to sneak that one. And in fact, Aster will zone back Matumba Man.
You can see how confident Boxy is though. He just is able to walk up hills and if you go on him, he just rebounds away and not much to do. There's no...
Or rebounds on top of you, up top.
Now Boboka gonna get chased and the dual supports come in to kill the other one. Ori looking for a little bit of retribution here. Will run into Insania and while they have Glimpse, he's not gonna get Glimpse that far. They move in, XXS right on top. Insania in trouble and likely to fall. So Aster make a solid move, able to claim a kill.
It's good. This is what Aster needs to do. They need to group around. Probably the Lusher and the Pango need to play together, try to force towers, force objectives with the roll. And anytime Liquid sees where the Pango is on the map, they can just go to the opposite side, force towers, force objectives. And Aster's either going to have to TP in 5 heroes and even still lose the fight, the tower, or they just commit to a trade.
Yeah, now they're going to bring 3 heroes to the mid lane as well here, so perhaps some quick action. They do have smoke if they want to, but they're seeing that there's no real rotations down bottom. They don't necessarily need to join up, so Gonna wait till they push this out a little bit here before they start playing a little bit more aggressive. I'm sure they want link up though with Zai since he does have that arena.
Smoke indeed as Liquid head down. Will run into Pichu here. Zai playing dumb. Well, actually find him as they're looking for the other kill onto Boca. So get the glimpse back, pull him in, stun, keeping him away, and actually just drop it.
Ori just keeping in the middle.
In some trouble. Ori likely to fall now in the middle of all of them. So they get one kill on the Marcy, but then lose their big bad Lesh. XXS shows up. This could be the fight winner. And with that, Liquid are going to get a little bit of a disengage. Zai trying to find a snipe with the spear. Doesn't manage to get it. And he too is going to get punished. But Aster, a little bit bold with the Lesh. They still get a couple kills in return.
It's a very bold TP. Yes. There was I think a slight miscommunication with XSS because he sees the Pango there and he head roll and he's like, oh okay, like we're gonna have a fight together right.
I think he also sees everyone's going on the Crystal Maiden who's ulting. Like, they're distracted. Yeah. They're on the CM. They're gonna have to use all their stuns there, and I'll have free reign of the fight. I think right now Aster, they need the Blink Dagger on the Pango, and the minute 15 shard for Sven is gonna be really impactful versus the Shadow Fiend armor and the Death Prophet.
Can see right here as well that they did immediately change up and left. They're like, all right, Boxy, you got that one right. As the rest of the team.
Yeah, there was a recent change now that the outpost TPs I think are default 7 seconds to start. So now there's just so much time. Once you see the TP, you have a lot of time to just walk backwards, go take the fight, and you see the idea. He wants to backstab the fight kind of and appear behind them, but a nice read by Liquid to just change targets instantly.
Yeah, no successful pincer maneuvers here, unfortunately.
They did still get Zai in that little engagement, though, and he has definitely been the most hurt of the cores in the entire game. You can see SF nursing that pretty substantial lead over the rest of the cores, and if you're Liquid, that's definitely what you want to see. But how much of a concern is it that you've still got that tri-core from Aster looking good there?
I think it's all on the Shadow Fiend BKB timing. If he gets it and they're able to actually force objectives and force timings, it'll look really good for Liquid, and their gold lead is just gonna skyrocket off the BKB. Shadow Fiend's BKB will give Death Prophet and Mars both of their BKBs just off the fizz. And on Aster, all they need to do is find a way to kind of slow the bleeding, slow the timings down. Because once they hit their timings, they hit the Bloodstone, maybe in another item on the Lesh. The sniper hits his Dragonlance Maelstrom is generally what people are going, or a BKB, then he starts pumping out damage, the Sven gets shard, Tango's gonna get this. It looks like he's actually gonna go for a Wraith Pact instead of the Blink.
That's a pretty cool idea to try and, like, because he is just building into that concept. Like, he knows what his idea is, right? Like, I need to initiate and I need to try and, like some additional tank ability for my Lesh rack.
Yeah, he needs to somewhat carry the game in a sense of the amount of impact he's gonna have in terms of the team fight, but his carry is just being in there, tanking and stunning. He doesn't have to damage heroes, he doesn't have to do much, he just has to exist there and create chaos.
The thing I've learned this TI is a Wraith Pack is a good item.
It's a very good item.
It's my #1 takeaway, and XXS queuing that one up. So
right now, Liquid do not have a Wraith Pack queued up. The Wraith Pack advantage will be in Aster's hand.
Yeah, this is a pretty hard game to figure one out for Liquid, I would say.
Yeah, the cores have very important items they need to buy. Mars, you would think that the Vlad's is very good on the hero, which it is, but the Blink and the BKB are just too powerful for what he needs to do as a hero in the fights.
Oh, Foxy.
Courier actually miss uphill there. Chasing. Zai. They throw out the stun. Does a little sneak to the side for Pichu, and that keeps him alive. So still a very even game as we wait for these timings to come online. And Liquid hoping to control this side of the map with all the tier 1s now pretty much claimed.
Yeah, I mean, that BKB is on the way here very soon for Mickey, right? And then they probably go up the triangle, get some wards down, start prepping towards a Roche.
Liquid's, I would say Liquid's stronger in a sense of teamfight / like holding areas. Anytime Liquid wants to walk to an area, take it, say like, this is ours, you fight us, Aster's going to walk away. They're not going to want to take these fights, they're going to walk away, keep farming, hitting their timings. But Aster, you know, if Liquid walks too far forward, the sniper gets a nice shrapnel, gets a bunch of hits off. That's where Liquid just has to be careful of their amount of aggression. They have to control it, they have to keep just taking the small advantages, keep building, and then at some point that's when they hit the Roche, hit the throw.
Oblique has been given a lot of space in this mid lane. Already has drums completed, going in for the Aether Lens next. Just going to give even more of that power to just sort of poke and prod. As Liquid go for the wraparound back behind the tier 1 tower. Won't run into anybody there. As you can see Aster only leaving that one support mid and just keeping the lave shoved out whenever possible.
It's a dangerous place right now, this mid lane. You know, some smoked up enemies on the other side there.
The BKB is finished on Shadow Fiend, and they want this tier 1 mid. It opens up the map a lot. You can go to both jungles through the mid lane. You can actually push your creeps past the tower.
He skipped the blink.
Yeah.
Finished the full Wraith Pact.
All right, Pango gets it done now.
Liquid right now, I think he noticed the Death Prophet went for Yules first. The Mars is also not having an amazing game. He went Falcon Blade. So his game's not terrible, but it's not going to be a fast BKB. So he's not really going to have issues catching heroes with the roll or being forced to start the fights purely with roll. He just kind of has to be able to, you know, when arena drops, you roll in and save your team.
Yeah.
Or when they start kind of walking in up your hill, you start the fight with roll.
I think it's just interesting because now I feel like they don't have much initiative. I think it's very hard for, like, let's say they do want to, you know, take a fight. They have a good opportunity. It feels like it's going to be very difficult for Aster.
This round, again, you've got the Blink Dagger done on Zai as the stun finds him just out of nowhere. Quick and easy with the smoke kill. Mickey was not prepped for that one. Can they find any more?
You just have a great ward.
That's a great ward to have.
That's just free fight.
Oh, pulls him out! Oh, it pulled him out of the arena!
Yan! Gusto ko! Sige! Huliin mo! Uy, gago ka ba't kinay-stun? Pabalik! Yan! Dapat! Ganyan, par! Sige, sabakin mo, Boxy! Kaso, naku po, may Bloodstone. Pero okay lang. Okay lang ba? Talaga? Talaga, Dok? Naku po. Namatay kasi yung Ace.
And on the other side, Aster take down everybody but the
Nag-commit pa sila? Dapat din na sila nag-commit. Walang Ace.
That was a nice, just chaining the plays.
Yeah, it was so fast.
In the same
Ang
roll,
ganda nung
he keeps
stun
rolling
agad
down
nung
behind the
Lishra.
tower. He forces his play, and he does his roll. He goes and he dies. He takes a bunch of
Walang
spells.
naman
He
yun.
forces Liquid to want to keep continuing.
Liquid ako
fighting
dito, Liquid.
the arena, the sniper, and the Lash, but they have no damage now because everything's being used on the Pango.
Yeah, instantly like running towards that mid lane, dropping that additional ward down to give even more vision because, you know, lacking that Blink Dagger, it is the vision, right? You know, talking about like
Wala, bumalik lang yung buhay ni Ori.
It doesn't matter. If Sven can run up smoked and just throw a stun, that's like the best case scenario as a support Sven, particularly you know, aside from your shard, that's kind of your other big thing, right?
And you can immediately see that Mickey pinged out. All right, they've got wards up in this area. It doesn't quite connect, though, on any of those observers. I'll see if Insania is able to spot the other one or not.
Yeah, it's this really nice deep ward above the outpost.
Yeah,
Aster has. It just has this tiny sliver of vision of the camp where they just saw a Shadow Fiend. If he was like 10 units to the right, maybe he doesn't even get caught by that stun, but Insania gets the D ward.
10 to 11. And you can see the replay here.
Ito, sayang. Tingnan na yung kabila. Ba't parang nakapag-stun agad yun? Ay no, may stop pala. Kaya pala may stop pa si Zai. Ano kailangan may stop pa Zai?
Yeah, Zai unfortunately not able to get the fight they want. Like, because it took so long to take down the Pango, essentially, right? Like, he had no follow-up from his friends in time.
Yeah, they have the Lusher and the Sniper are very strong, so when you're forced to use spells on just a Pango, you're kind of letting these damage cores survive the spells. And like we said, Liquid is between the Mars
and the stop lang ni Sai yung ano yan, yung kanyang spear. Boy, sana siya nagulat ako na stun siya ng Lishrak eh. Dapat din na na-stun siya ng Lishrak. Pag di siya na-stun ng Lishrak, boy siya.
Keep being able to run in, but this 10 to 15 seconds of Liquid
pero okay lang naman
yun,
support. Ay, hindi pala. Carry pala yung namatay na. Tapos,
he just gets free reign in the fight.
I mean, the good news is, though, is that he didn't have time to BKB and waste his 9-second charge.
There you go.
All right. They still had the Shadow Fiend BKB.
The positives.
Gotta look at him.
Matu is also finishing his BKB up. He's about 300 gold away.
Ooh, heads up there. Zai gets away just in time.
Walang roll. Smoke kayo. Smoke. Walang roll. Walang roll, par. Ay, pa-BKB na ba to?
Good fight one like we talked about for
BKB
Aster.
na
There still
ata
is that bottom tier 1 tower that they have yet to claim.
The scary thing I see right now for the side of Liquid is that Zai just has a Blink Dagger, no BKB, and he's basically, he has to be able to blink in and stun and preferably survive when he blinks in and arena stuns, but there's so many different things on Aster that can catch him. Either cancel blink between like a shrapnel or a random swashbuckle, or maybe he just blinks in and gets instantly stunned by the Pango roll. And it's just a lot on the back of him. If he gets these good spears, these good arenas, it's going to be great for Liquid.
I think that Aster as well have an excellent read on everything that Liquid want to do right now. Like, you know, you pointed out the start of the game. Like, this is their timing. They want these BKBs. It is something that Aster
also pag ito nahuli lang agad si Mone, iyak tong mga to. Pero kailangan mamatay sa side ng Aster yung ano eh, yung Leshrak eh. Yung kailangan nila ma-burst.
Pango sort of nearby as well, can join very quickly with the roll. They're shutting out that area of the map for such a long time.
Oh, good shit, BKB timing na nila, wala pang dagger yung Pango, wala pa silang pang-burst. So all goods in the hood. Kaso Roshan.
as Aster ready to move on in. Liquid, they have an idea that this is happening, but it's going to come too late.
Yeah, they had wards nearby, but it was too late.
Pero kaya yan, kaya pa yung labanan.
Aster might not expect this fight.
Oh, kaya yan.
He's running right into a Monet there. Have it, but the BKB
Uy.
out already.
Uy.
Man trying to survive has the
Uy, ang
BKB
gusto ko.
running on top.
Yan ang gusto ko. Sige, Monet, paluin mo lang si Zai para mawala yung BKB mo.
But it's not quite going to be enough.
Ina mo. Yan ang gusto ko. Sige, wala nang BKB yan. Yan ang gusto ko sa'yo, Zai. Ay ano, Monet, pinapalo yung Mars. Wala ka na, Monet. Wala ka na BKB. Ubus na lahat. Ubus na lahat. Ubus na lahat. Kaso gago. Grabe yung lifesteal. Aray ko. Grabe yung lifesteal ng ano. Sniper. Oo, Warcry armor. Tang ina mo. Grabe yung ano, Warcry armor. Tapos ano, yung Warcry armor. Tapos yung tawag dito, yung ang tawag dun sa ano, raid pack.
It was looking really scary. Ori actually didn't get his ult.
Ubus buhay, par. Ina, pangit na nang ginawa ni Monet dun eh. Tinatayuan niya. Wala na siyang BKB, tinatayuan niya.
So he did 600 damage. Really big carry.
That is crazy.
And it still took them so long to.
Oh, tingnan mo. Bakit na lang ginagawa niya, guys, oh?
He's forced a very early BKB. All he does is hit Zai the entire time. Zai's going to back away. Yeah, into the bulwark. He's the back away. Wave of the step. Great force staff play there as well. But then Zai eventually gets the blink in. But on this reset, it's so hard to believe that with a Requiem from the high ground like that, they couldn't get this finish.
Yeah, absolutely insane.
And PG just comes like...
Hindi talaga sa ano, hindi naman sa Warcry eh. Hindi sa Warcry nabuhay oh. Sa ano siya na ano talaga.
What a huge play from Aster.
Sa rate pack.
They are able to survive.
Buhay na buhay siya sa rate pack.
And again, very even in the live game right now. But things could start spinning pretty quickly out of control if Liquid aren't careful.
Yeah, a lot of that fight I think actually was on the Pango, even though it didn't look like he had much impact. He rolls and it forces the Death Prophet BKB and the Shadowfiend BKB.
Yeah.
And they hit him, you know, Shadowfiend takes him down maybe 75% health, but he's fine trading roll for your BKB. He knows that if he uses his roll, he can still push rate back.
Sapakan nga, papalagdo. Grabe yung ano, rate pack. Yung lifesteal ng rate pack, guys.
All the stuns on the side of Aster.
Yeah, now
yun lang yan. Pero patay ata si Monet dun kung walang rate pack eh.
There as well, so. Gonna have a whole other level coming from XSS soon.
Well, tier 1 tower taking a bottom, and Aster.
Hindi, may LGD pa.
Continuing this onslaught.
Ito na lang yung nasa upper bracket.
They're gonna see Zai in behind now, catching that next wave.
Yeah.
So there is a glyph here as well from Liquid. They are gonna pop it just to kill the wave. So we'll see how dedicated they are.
Ori is a BKB now,
so tier 2. Yeah.
It's very hard, I think, for Liquid to now fight like.
Pabutin niya late game.
Into Aster.
Lamang na lamang yung hero nila late game eh. Itong Liquid eh. Pabutin niya late game. Huwag kayo magmadali.
That's where it's scary.
Masyado pang malakas yung ano eh. BKB timing lang.
Walks into the stuns, the disruptor glimpse. You know, they go too far, hitting a tower, and he glimpse back. That's where Liquid just pumps out the damage.
Oh, Zai, big play. He catches the Blink Dagger Courier. It was flying on its way out to XXS.
Sobrang ganda nun. Sayang yung ano.
Yeah, a nice little window here. I mean, again, there's no Roche for another 4 minutes at the very least, since that Aegis was immediately reclaimed.
Yeah, kailangan ng BKB lahat ng ano, Liquid. Yun lang kailangan nila. Pag may BKB lahat yung Liquid, all good. So insane niya lang din yung BKB dito eh. Kailangan niya lang aganin.
BKB as well, right? Like he's finding all these waves inside the map. He just gets it now. So if they were able to fight after Liquid, he knows that there was a Blink Dagger on there. It could be a great time.
Late game lang, laruin nyo late game pa. Wag nyo ano, wag kayo magpapatay na magpapatay lagi. Laruin nyo ng late game, tumagal para tumagal.
9 seconds.
Pag tumagal yan, gago, wala talagang gagawin tong
also getting close.
Gagawin yung sniper.
Gold or so away from finishing off his.
Yeah, and right now the vision advantage is in Liquid's favorite. They've been seeing quite a few of these movements here from Aster because of the ward that they have, whereas Aster have nothing. They can't see anything that's going on that dire side of the map right now, so they're going to rely on these waves finally getting pushed out to see if they can spot something.
My favorite thing right now is we're going back to
the old days of 40-minute game talaga,
Shadowblade, Sniper, Shadowblade.
Jeez, that was when I started playing Dota. Every game was just a Drow building a Shadowblade and Ricky's. It was just invis everywhere.
I mean, still pretty strong when you can build up into that break. Love to see that one. But
Sniper, all of his attack range will be gone.
So sad.
I think right now Liquid still has a lot of damage, even though they're slightly behind.
Yun, nice one.
That BKB
Nice one, nice
if he wants to live here even.
Nice one.
Bag it up, you know.
Wala nang BKB ha? Maganda to. Walang hero, wala si Ori dyan guys, sabulin yan. Wala si Ori.
Viz Monet is also gone and away. Can they do it? Doesn't look like it.
Ina mo, ba't yan ka nagtago?
After already glimpsing, of course.
Swerte naman nun, biglang dumating yung Shadow Blade.
So when he swashes without hitting them. Because when you hit them, it gives you vision, and there's a chance he gets glimpsed off of his swash backwards.
Oh, right.
So he does a nice little thing where he just swashes and intentionally does it in the opposite direction, so there's no chance they...
Labanan nyo late game. Mabutin nyo ng 40 minutes. Tangin natin, antigan natin kung may gagawin tong Aster.
Because of that. But for now, he's also got the roll-up completed. 10 seconds until his Blink Dagger is back and in his possession.
Liquid right now, they either need to kill in a spear. He hits a spear on the sniper, he'll just get blown up. Or they need to be able to survive the BKB.
Prediction mo ba sa? Ba't di ko nakita prediction mo kanina boss eh? Sa Liquid tayo yan, Liquid.
Zai just kind of kept walking at him his entire BKB duration. And he ended up catching him after the BKB. And if it wasn't BKB, good shot. So, right now,
kasi guys, tangina pag natuloy na yung sniper mamaya ng Marcy, late game, tapos naka-basher, tangina boy, di ba, kahit Marcy lang kayang 1-on-1 ano yan, kahit kayang 1-on-1 ni Boxy yan, yung sniper. Kaya sapakan yan, hanggang ano, sa dulo ng walang hanggan, hanggang ang puso'y wala nang nararamdaman.
It's like a very quick follow-up, it feels like, where it's like Boxy and then like Matu's in at the same time, and that's when you have these like sort of side...
Shout out to John Paul Hernandez, shout out to Bossy.
Like the Mars, the Disruptor, and the Shadow Fiend.
I mean,
get their moment spotted.
It is worth noting, you know, there's a reason a lot of people ban Marcy. This is one of the strongest timings in the entire game.
When you get that
BKB, you can just solo cores if they're not careful and don't have friends nearby.
True that yan, true that. Kaya mga solo kill, BKB lang item.
It's kind of insane. As we will have a pause here. Boxy.
Shout out sa inyo guys, shout out sa inyo sa lahat na nanonood. Pa-share naman ako ng stream guys, maraming salamat.
Get ready for Roche to respawn. 1 minute and still it's capable of popping back up. And like you were talking about that vision, Aster, you have one ward up on the high ground right above the Roche pit. Meanwhile, Liquid have one right above their tier 2 tower up on the other side of the map as well.
Interesting, Boboko actually went for a Yules instead of the... I think he was going Aether Lens.
Yeah, he was for a while.
Share nyo ating stream guys, maraming salamat sa mga mag-share ng ating stream.
What's his goal with it? Maybe it's to try to get the Marcy off of his sniper?
That'd be my guess too. Oh, they just smoked on top of that ward.
Yun, nakita sila dun. Kita sila ng ward.
They saw it as they smoked.
Alright, that's fine.
Just a bait, it's fine.
If they go farm now, Liquid's gonna still be scared.
Yeah, it's true. It's not like you can't just assume like, oh, they saw that.
Right. Gem purchase now by Insania as they're hanging out by another ward. So that is all of the vision pretty much for Liquid in this area, taken off the map. And with Roche capable of respawning soon, and in fact it's going to be 1 minute away, Liquid need to be a little bit wary about that. Their positioning, make sure they don't give up a free Aegis.
Everyone's just worried about getting their next timing due to the fact of how hard it is for either team to really jump the other one.
So everyone
just wants to be able to be the ones who you walk into them and you lose the fight. That's why you make it just kind of farming a lot, and it's just because if he has the damage,
item dagger.
Liquid needs him to do.
I think
nagsayang ka ng 2-1 boss. Ayos yan, dagger agad.
Cool.
Yan, may Shibas na rin si Matu.
Extra regen reduction will be super helpful.
Sino predict mo, boss? Liquid guys, Liquid yung predict natin sa laron to.
Into the favor of Aster, they get a silver edge
Liquid Itus. Pasok tayo sa Discord nila, boss B.
We'll see if they can now holding that outpost on Aster keep this area under control, but a smoke up from Liquid. Let's see where they go.
Two big things right now are if Pango gets roll off, it's probably going to be good for Aster. And whether or not Zai is able to hold his arena for after the sniper BKB. What happens, it kind of shows.
Nala ko nung nagpunta ka Cavite City kasama mo si Gabo. Sinong Gabo? IDK, who is Gabo? Oh. Gago ka, Mato! Utang ina mo talaga, Mato. May salty ka talaga minsan.
Liquid just ran into death. It's so hard to try to take areas away, but
may saltik talaga si Mato, par.
you need to. They want to set up to defend the tower. You want to always be able to
easy rush na naman.
very stressful when
ang inang
you keep
mato
asking yourself
yan.
as a team, like, hey guys, when can we fight? When can we take this fight? And you don't get an answer.
Oh, that roll-up started just at the exact perfect time as well there, too. Thunder into the roll-up, complete perfect chain stun, no saves there in time. Not a whole lot you can do unless Fox is going to find a shard or something here, right? Like, he is stuck and done, and that is a free Roche now.
Ba't kasi sila nagmamadali? Di ko alam kung anong point nang magmadali sila sa team fight. Parang ang obvious kasi na sobrang na ano eh, na may ward yung ano dun eh, Aster dun eh.
So you're gonna be probably thinking about your high ground defense, but again, all they really need is to be able to start a fight cleanly. They need to catch the Pango, they need to catch the sniper.
Madali nila.
Make it sound so easy, Gunner.
This is a tough one now, and Aster just looking incredibly clean. Each of the moves that we've seen them make around the map, it's been with purpose. They've had vision down early.
Yung pala yung purpose nung ano, dagger. Burst pala. Roll tapos ano. Kaso tanga lang ni Mate. Humaharap ng ganun. Wala silang ano, kahit vision dun oh. Kahit anong vision.
I still think they have the ability to fight. But Aster is just
Huwag nyo lang paabutin ng ano, huwag nyo lang paabutin ng 20k lead. Mahirap na ibangon yan.
I did see XSS has one.
He has a one locked, so he's ready. He's pretty much prepared. The only concern
bigay mo na 5H bat. Eh, wala boss eh. Bibigay natin pag talo, malamang. Hindi, 4H lang pusta namin dyan. Nung ni Lester, ng Lester pangalan. Nandiyan sa comment section. Siya lang yung nag-send eh. Siya lang yung nagkase.
We'll see if today is going to be another one of those instances. As Aster now going to split up a little bit. Ori on the other side of the map. So Zai
kind of yan, BKB. Yan nyo agad. Gago, BKB Dok! Ba't di nagbi-BKB yung mga Team Liquid? Tangina, di ko mag-gets! Di sila nagbi-BKB talaga, Dok! Tangina, di nag-BKB yung SF. Sobrang tipid. Tipid yarn.
And now in some more trouble. The ulti down. Godlike Monet. Liquid do not have answers for this Aster lineup.
It's the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
Aster holds an area. Liquid feels forced to make a move. They walk into the ward. The fight gets hard. Anytime, it's just Pango. Pango's always going to get his roll off. You can't walk into a ward and prevent the Pango from rolling up.
It's kind of like they have the same weakness for both the Pango and the Sniper. Right? They just have no way of stopping
Sniper.
For their game plan to start.
Nadamay pa yung 400 ko. Diyan mo! Taya! Kitang-kita naman siguro yung gulong, no, pre! Kitang-kita naman yung gulong, yung roll. Putang inang yan, di nag-BKB.
Monet has been playing such a fabulous game.
Ka talaga, Dok.
You know, it was back at TI7, LFY, the lineup that he was playing on when he first really made a name for himself. And you know, after a lot of those other really well-storied players retired, he kind of found himself lacking a place. And now he's found it with this group of players, and Aster looking to continue.
Okay lang yun, magkano na naman pusta? 400. Guys, pumusta lang kayo ng tag dito. Kaya ng inyong bulsa. Hindi nyo kailangan mag-bet ng malakihan. Tiga mo si Mato! Yun ako pag-yuls. Pilit na pilit lagi yung team fight nila. Walang niya. Tong ginawang target practice nung pre, sniper. Iba yung nabivisualize ko sa ano eh, sa...
What a freaking destructive draft from Aster.
Tangina, natalo ako ng dalawang sunod sa predict ko Nasa mali ito
More than all the other cores of Liquid combined almost.
So it was a really nice sniper. Again, you know, it solves the Shadow Fiend, it solves the Death Prophet. It kind of fixes these heroes where they walk in slowly and they just keep killing everything that stands in front of them because he doesn't stand in front of them. He stands over the hill, two yards away, 2 blocks away, just impossible.
Well, and it was Matumba Man, if I remember correctly, that was one of the first people that was playing Sniper in this tournament.
Hindi nagbibigay yung mga tropa natin, pare. Naku po. Kitang-kita sa CCTV, yun ang ginawang target practice. O, target practice! Sabi dito ng Sniper, target practice! Naku, ang daming creeps. 2 mega na agad. Target practice!
Oh my god, Ori. Gets the blink out before the right click comes in.
There's even a BKB, it was on cooldown.
Yeah, he's on a couple.
Ang ganda ng gem din eh, no? Wala ambition lahat.
Nice little split push plays throughout this game. Got quiet a few times, but he has done a very good
job. May aganis na ba to? Gago, wala. Malayo pa sa katotohanan yung aganis. Malayo sa katotohanan yung aganis ni Insane niya, par.
There is non-answer. They don't have an Aegis, but they don't need one right now.
Tangin na, mataas din yung win rate. Tangin na, malas ata SF ngayon ah. Eh hindi, panalo SF kapon ni Jackie. Divine mo, divine. Tangin na, may pagsuntukan ka na lang sa Sniper par. Ikaw na lang pag-asa dito sa Dota na to. Kahit ako, di-divine ko na lang yan.
You just have to give up. You have to play for the last racks. You have to play for the... You have to play for the winning the game. You can't
kailangan yan divine.
We have to defend this racks, guys. It feels bad.
Kailangan ng divine.
Make your sacrifices.
So when you say you have to give up,
divine is the key to success.
Of course.
Okay. Well, we'll see now as Blink, Boots of Bearing, Yule's on the CM.
Unleash.
Aster have gone for all of these great team fighting oriented items.
Ayan na. Isa lang.
Ori jumped.
Uy, nako po!
And BKB, the turnaround, Foxy immediately TP'd out.
Putang ina, laking kill sana nun. Ay, nako talaga. Tulo ka na.
They actually could have bursted him.
Tulo ka na, mga tropang kalsyaw.
Anytime you kind of split up your heroes, you go to the side lanes. Heroes always want to push the lanes out. Ori's been doing it all game, where he'll go to a side lane, he'll push it out past the corner, and Liquid needs to set up these kind of traps to catch the heroes.
Leshrak no, Leshrak ang taas ng win rate, tsaka CM.
It is really your only chance.
Or legendary high ground defense.
Of course.
They still have the team fight. They still have the Mars Arena. The Mars Arena is one of the strongest spells to team fight with, especially once the
BKB. Hindi kayo matutulog, guys.
It's just the question.
Mag-samgyup
Are you
kami.
able to force them to BKB?
Mag-samgyup kami ng girlfriend ko eh.
And so far, the answer has been no.
Yeah, and Aster, I mean, they're feeling pretty secure about this, just thinking, yeah, maybe we'll wait out for Roche, see what happens, see if we can catch someone coming into their base. They're certainly in no rush right now.
Samgyup, guys. Kailangan mag-samgyup. Lumbay kay Mato, par. Tang ina mo, may DD pa yung Sniper.
Wait for Liquid to run into them. And when that will not happen, the downside is that Liquid are going to need to keep these waves pushed out. They can't even really leave their base right now.
One of the nice things, which is why Aster's been able to hold area so much, is that Liquid doesn't really have any heroes who push the lanes without showing. Slowly. Which it's mostly been Zai the whole game. He'll run to a lane, he'll kill it, run to the next, kill it, and he's kind of just chasing them, making them chase him around and keep getting gold. But for Aster, you know, Leshrak has boots of travel, the sniper can just shrapnel and the wave will die, the Pango can kill it in half a second with both his spells, and they're able to just push the lanes quickly and then regroup, whereas Liquid kind of has to slowly show their hero, show what they're doing. And
They might be in any, but fuck it. Do you want to alter this guy?
You need to stun him.
Can we win? No?
No, go.
Oh. This is not gonna happen, bro. Let's go.
It did not happen.
Yeah,
this is not gonna happen.
It's one of those tough ones. Those moments are always so difficult to get everything working
together
in concert. And of course, just
antay na lang yun ang Roshan.
It's also just, you know, you kind of feel the pressure.
Kung may himala, ilabas nyo na.
You only have half a second, 1 second to know exactly what you're doing.
Ilabas nyo na ang himala.
Fleeting for the side lane kill like that. McKay taunting it up there. It's pop the BKB.
Kailangan talaga yun ni BKB.
Does have that rapier queued up as well. So Liquid maybe a sign of the times and what they need, or at least feel like they need to win this one.
Tangina, ano, di talaga sila nag-high ground kahit walang BKB. Antay lang Roshan.
This is my guy right here. This is my play.
This is a very deep smoke.
Maganda
This is what you gotta do when you're 5, right? You gotta get.
Ayan na guys, umabot na 40 minutes guys. May chance na tayo guys. Sabi ko, di ba umabot lang 40 minutes? Kaso 20k gold did eh, pero okay lang yan guys. Gold did lang yan guys. Sino ba yun? Yung sa OG Secret nga dati, 45k gold did, nakambak pa eh. Yung PL ni ano, Gyro ni ano. Gyro ni pangalan nito, Sumail.
Well, never since, you know, techies.
Dati, ng 2020. Yun nga guys, nakambak pa. Ito pa kaya? 18k lang yan.
He did not take his gem with him on this mission.
He doesn't even have a sentry down. They could just have a ward of him. And
I mean, if they got you, right? Why waste an extra bit of gold?
I think nowhere else to be, you know?
He's probably just, I would assume he's just playing to steal the Aegis. I don't think there's much more their team can do, but Matsu TP's back. It looks like they might
want to
and take this Rosh.
Ayun na yung Divine.
Got the rapier on the courier.
Ayun na! Putang ina nyo.
See if this is going to be enough now, as Aster have not left this entire side of the map with the exception of XXS, but they will head on in. Ori in position.
The greatest bait of all time.
Ready to go. They find them all. BKB's out. The rapier's
Gago ka, Yosef!
They turn on to him. BKB.
Ina mo, Dok. Yan, sige, patayin nyo si Ori. Patayin si Ori. Si Ori. Si Ori. Si Ori. Si Ori, patay. Kaso yung sniper target practice na naman kanina. Uy, gago, mabuhay ka, SF. Takbo, Dok.
Another big win of all people.
I don't know.
Comes in, he throws a static storm down as well on top of the sniper. That was a great job delaying it, right? He kept the sniper out of the fight for a very long time so that the rapier could actually do a little bit of work and they could take down Ori, but still not enough to get an edge here for Liquid.
And now Monet feels so strong as they walk up high ground. A break, a punch, a kill.
Gago ka, Dok.
Oh, Bobica, he's so
Whoa! GG na.
They do it in style. Aster
GG.
going to win this game here as Divine Rapier is dropped. He denies his items.
Dahil na yun. Dahil na kahit ako nag-sniper dyan.
It was a nice rapier. The fight looked really close.
Okay, bad muna.
He had Stormcrafter, I think, kind of delays it. Presses Yules as well. It's like 3.5 seconds. He's just in the air. They can't do damage.
It was a tale of maybe the execution in terms of just like what was easy for each team. You know, for Aster, they kind of just got to lean back, farm it up a little bit. Didn't feel like this pressure was on them to make these moves across the map. Whereas Liquid, they felt that pressure and they were unable to make those moves. And sort of the classic tale of Mars in a sense. Like we still see him picked because he does have this opportunity for the spear in the arena. And when you hit it, it feels really good. When you can't make those plays and connect those efforts for your team, you see yourself struggle quite a bit.
I thought the biggest thing was the lanes were really nice, but the team fight was just. Aster was so good.
Well, that's what we're going to have to deal with going into the next game as they head on backstage, get prepped and ready for it. Liquid back to the drawing boards, and we're going to head back to the panel.
Thank you very much indeed. Drafting was good, but overall,
Tumalong si Mato,
Monet on his sniper. He can just sit there and just peep away. That was basically the story of the team fights for me. There was, of course, a lot of protection and everything coming together very nicely. I want to also hear from analysts what they thought was the most important thing here with Jenkins, Effie, and Lacoste. Lacoste, sniper, peeping. How could he just sit there and chill?
He had an extremely good front line. Like, you have this position 5, Sven.
Nagpop na lang si Yoragi agad, oh. Nananahimik lang kasi, namato pa. Nananahimik lang si Abat. Nadalian pa ng 400. Para pang samgyup na par. Marami tayong pang samgyup, boss. Huwag ka mag-alala. Gusto mo libre pa kita eh. Yak lang. Eguls. Sayang yung mga team fight na di sila nagbe-BKB. Putang ina. Okay lang yan, guys. GG, Boss Lester. Ayan, si Boss Lester yung kalaban natin. Good game. Nani mo.
No.
Okay na, no? Si Uragi nag-FM na lang, pre. Paano Astra game to boss para tayan ko lang. Ano ang problema? Gusto mo tayo na maglaban. Tayo na maglaban. Liquid mo Aster. Aster game 1 Aster. Ang alats ng utang ay naman. Ano na labanan mo, Boss Clevin? Tayo. Wow. Ikaw muntik lang pa.
Radiant fortified their structures.
Tanga na 100% win rate yung lineup nila na yun eh. Sa TI, yung SF Prob. Tsaka yung sa LCQ, sa Last Chance Qualifier. Puro panalo din yung ganun lineup nila eh. Sayangin naman yan. Kulang pa sa... Kaya maganda lang nilaro ng Aster, yan lang yan. Pero sa Hero, sobrang defense lang talaga. Walang lamang, walang lugi dun sa...
Dire's bottom tower needs some help.
Dazzle.
Aster, no!
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Puro 2-0 ngayon sa upper bracket, no? Wala man lang nagtutuwan. Wala pa nagtutuwan sa upper bracket eh, puro 2-0.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Start na ba? Start na?
Oh yeah,
we're getting ready.
You know, during our break time, like when we're not live, we'll usually just like talk about what you guys are doing. So if you like, you know, warm up. Yeah, like warm up. We'll like analyze like food tactics.
Tayo nyo ako dyan, guys.
Radiant's middle tower could use some help. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack. to Radiant's bottom tower. Not much good's happening to Radiant's bottom tower. Are those cracks in Dire's top tower? Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom tower's got problems. Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. They're beating on Dire's top tower. Are those cracks in Dire's top tower? Dire's top tower is gone. Just a cold fog left behind. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Not much good's happening to Radiant's bottom tower. They're beating on Dire's top tower.
Time is money.
Radiant structures have been snow fortified. Dire's middle tower isn't going to last long. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Okay, game.
Such a formation-heavy team, they emphasize so highly on team fighting, on playing together, on holding areas of the map, and they don't really play individually like a lot of other teams do. So you have to figure out how to find the cracks in that kind of gameplay, and you have to do it now.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to, you know, we
Game,
just
guys,
heard
game.
how strong Liquid was in the early 10 minutes, first 10 minutes of the game. They went so well, and then Aster still, like, at the end of the game, it still feels like it was a smackdown. So how do you deal with that? Because that is not just draft.
Yeah, I think
Oh, ito maganda, wala pang drop.
get Radiant because they do have 87% win when they're playing Radiant.
That's insane.
That's
so high.
They did play Dire this time.
Wait lang. Share
I
muna
think
natin
at
yung
this
stream
point,
natin.
they maybe try to look to fit in their Pudge or their Lone Druid in this game too. That's probably the best thing that they can do right now, and potentially put Mike on more of a playmaking type of mid, just to see how they can fight into Aster's tempo once they pick it up, right? Because the lanes for Aster aren't where the issues lie. It's afterwards when Aster finally group up. So if you can just pick heroes that can exploit that laning part and make it difficult for them to hit that stride to defend their high grounds, then you can potentially just run them over with something like a Lone Druid, right? You just take all their towers.
Yeah, Mutombo played one game of DP during the group stage. So, you know, obviously it's something that he can.
Game?
But it doesn't really seem like
Tayo ng kalaban
staple,
dito.
like the Pudge has seemed to be one of
Sayang
their
yung
favorites,
Marcy, natalo yung
Sniper,
Marcy.
Lone
Tangina, ngayon lang
Druid.
natalo
I
yung
guess those
Marcy,
heroes
pre.
are, not only like not only are they heroes that have like the flair of
Tangina
something
si
like
CMU,
the Death
100%
Prophet as a
win
safe
rate.
lane, which other teams aren't doing, it's like they also just pick them more and seem more comfortable with it. So Yeah, I mean, I love the Pudge SF if they can get it. The problem is both of these heroes are arguably like first phase heroes if you do want to get them.
Or a second phase banned.
Or, yeah, then Pudge was second phase banned in the previous one because, of course, you look at Liquid's drafts, every single time they go for the SF, they try to get the Pudge as well.
All right, well, we are going to find out what the teams have in store for each other in Game 2 of this series as we are heading to the draft.
Team Liquid's turn to ban. Team Liquid versus Team Aster. Game 2.
So far, every series in the upper bracket, teams that started in the upper bracket, all have been 2-0s. It's been sweeps, and I really hope that we're going to at least have a little bit of a difference for this one, or if they do 2-0, that it's a close game. We like the close back and forth, and then I don't really mind if it's a 2-0 as long as it's good Dota. But a little bit of a cop out. Give me a 100-minute game, 107 minutes. That sounds about right.
I think Liquid will come out swinging this one.
Well, let's see. They swing with the Marcy once again. We got Liquid Shrek coming out for Aster. Openings in terms of bans are a little bit changed up because Primal Beast is still...
Yung hero nila, puta, nagbibigay lang ng armor. Hindi nyo ba napapansin, pre? Nagbibigay lang ng armor.
Really fast. I mean, this is what coaches were talking about. You know, they made the draft already pretty much. We also, like during the DPC, we talked about a lot without practicing.
Oh, Liquid ako! Liquid guys, Liquid! Sino laban? Liquid! Liquid ako, Liquid! Sino Aster dyan? Sino Aster?
Why these drafts are going so quickly.
And Insania was talking about it during ESL1 Malaysia when he was on panel briefly. He said that these teams, before they go into a game, their coaches spend so many hours just running through 50 potential openings of them. So they are prepared for almost everything that comes out. And when you see a team taking their time, it just is a discussion internally.
Ready yung Liquid, ang bilis ng ban.
They want to go between some of the options that they are debating about between each other.
Yeah, and I think there's an element too of not wanting to overthink something that you've already like broken down and analyzed. I mean, in True Sight, you can see a battle between the things that they had discussed before and new ideas that were happening in the series. So it is, of course, a balance, but especially I think it's true for the first phase picks because there are just much less permutations that can happen there where it's like, okay, let's just, we did the analysis, like let's just trust this. Once we get to the second phase, then we can start addressing some of the new things that we're seeing in this draft that we didn't address in the analysis because we couldn't because it's just too many permutations.
Yeah, I do want to point out I was wrong. Primal Beast is still banned out. I was just a little blind. That's all. We do have
that first one is always hiding that first.
It is. We do have Pudge banned out once again, and we do have the opening for Team Liquid. It's Marcy Shadow Fiend. They opened with it last time, but they believe in it still.
Of course. I mean, these two heroes are some of the best heroes you can get in the first phase, right? They got first pick, so of course they go for Marcy. I don't think any team in that position would not want to go for this hero, but Aster already had their response prepared. We saw a lot of teams go for the Lich yesterday versus Marcy, and this is mainly because the Frost Shield negates most of her damage. Most of the damage that this hero provides for the team is through her sidekicks, so Lich can kind of erase that, right? So it makes it so that there's a minus spell in Marcy's arsenal, if that makes sense. And of course, the Lashrak is an Ori specialty. It's what Aster have played the most in.
Last ni Ori last ni Ori mag-Lashrak.
It's cool that Sven and Lich are such different
Pero
heroes.
ito wala nang
but it seems that Aster is picking them for the exact same reason, which is just the armor versus Marcy.
Yun nga, sabi ko armor talaga
by the Lich, like prior to the tournament as a hero, but then you mentioned it, Effie, and
armor lang
yung
hanap ng ng Aster
But he'll get his chain frost off and he'll armor somebody, and then
Marcy
can't
just
just solo
ito,
kill whoever she's going on, which she normally actually can do even as a support, and then you know that Marcy's going to be picked with another right click.
Yun lang yung hanap ng Aster tayo na taga-armor.
So does Sven.
One of the heroes that you definitely need to be careful about your positioning.
Tapos mag-all-in sila sa carry. All-in carry to.
That means you're gonna die.
So
it's all about using the frost armor multiple times, plus getting an angle on a chain frost, and that's about it. Like your laning presence is really good first couple of minutes, then it tends to fall off, then it again goes back up once you hit that level 6, but very difficult hero to play.
I feel like you could honestly consider if you're Liquid going for a purge. Like that's how good the Lich seems, is that you want to purge the armor. Maybe like an Oracle.
They did ban out Shadow.
The SD would have been really good too, because it's like the permanent purge. I'm going to focus this guy, you press R on him, they die.
Exactly. Usually when you're playing versus the Lich, you just pray you get a Witch Vein or something that can just dispel it later on in the game. Because the thing about Lich's armor is it's not one-dimensional. It has a lot of talents that bust it up. It scales with the game. It's not something that you can just itemize against in terms of like increasing your damage output, because he can do the same, right? The duration goes up.
The duration scales now too. It went from 6 seconds flat at all levels, I believe, to 5, 6, 7, 8. So 2 extra seconds on that. It's got such high uptime now.
Now, if I told you, Lacoste, that at TI, Lich and Crystal Maiden would be first phase heroes.
I would say maybe next TI. I mean, I did expect some Crystal Maiden to be played, but not this
No,
one.
faceless George.
The heroes
Kitang-kita na agad yung faceless George, oh.
First phase, also being first pick and like last pick.
Faceless George, Aster.
Frost heroes, except for Ancient Apparition. That one's well, Entity increasing the win rate of that one.
I mean, that was AA with 2 divine rapiers.
And moon shards. I mean, that's pretty good, you know. Upping that win rate for sure. There she is.
Beastmaster. Ready sila sa faceless boy.
Straight up. So we are still
ready lang sila sa faceless George.
So we're either looking for a Mickey hero or for a Matu hero on the side of Team Liquid.
I think it just feels more comfortable for Liquid to play the SF on Mike. He just has such a stellar win rate with it from the group stages.
Yeah.
And it feels like Liquid styles, they just put a hero that hits towers on Matu. That's always what they do, right? Whether it was the Lone Druid or the Juggernaut when he had that phase, or the Death Prophet carry, what have you, it feels like that's what Matu does best as a carry player, and they just let Mike do the farming.
Matu, one of the few carry players that did not play Shadowfiend at this TI. He has a different variety of the heroes that you mentioned, like very specific, like the Lone Druid, Naga Siren as well. I mean, Naga definitely not a pick here against all this AoE damage that Team Aster has.
But already what Liquid have going for them that they didn't have last game was their offlane hero can buy Wraith Pact, right? Their Mars.
Yeah, it feels necessary.
Mars needs a lot of items before he can buy a Wraith Pact. He needs to be able to get a blink, oftentimes
probably
a BKB,
maybe even a refresher.
And at that point, you're playing versus a Wraith Pact and you don't have one on your team, and we really
Third
saw
blade?
that effect last game. Like, the Pangolier bought it, he didn't care at all, and it did so much for them. So, already looking better for Liquid.
You know what Terrorblade needs? More armor.
Wow,
Paired up with Lich. He's literally immune to physical damage. So they do have a Beastmaster. Shadowfiend is a mixed damage, but having Marcy, like Crystal Maiden, they might be a little limited, especially the damage that goes through BKB. If they're not able to just focus down this Terrorblade, he could easily take over the
coach nila?
Liquid probably wants to put the CM with the Beast and just spam out axes in lane and play off of magic damage against the TB instead of putting some Marcy Beastmaster, which makes me think that Matumba's hero will probably be some ranged hero that can play with the Marcy in lane. Or it doesn't have to be a ranged hero, but some hero that would like to play with Marcy in lane.
Is Sniper still in the pool? Oh no, Sniper's banned.
Drow seems amazing here. It's really good against Flesh.
Ban?
Oh, okay.
The only ranged heroes other than Death Prophet that he played, I believe, is Luna.
Luna, but it's
But puro talo mga cross pubs.
So what are your traditional counters to
Oo,
the Terrorblade?
puro
The only
olat
one that comes to
yan.
mind is a PL.
But
Puro liquid fanboys yung mga yan.
Yeah,
they covered a lot of stuff with this.
Wala namang mga Aster fanboys dito.
Something cool that they could do, but we said that
Blitz
Matu
yung
still
coach.
hasn't
Di ko
played the
kilala.
SF, but if they just put the SF on the safe lane with the Marcy and pick something like a Zeus for mid, they would have a hero that lanes well versus Leshrac, something that defends towers, and then something that would absolutely crush TV. So from this angle, that's what's looking like their best option.
Even picking up something like a Storm Spirit, because there's a limited lockdown on their side, but I like the Zeus option a bit more.
I'm sure that Matu can play SF.
Feeling ko kailangan mag-aircon no?
Sure he can.
I mean, sure. Yeah,
Aircon
if you're
na nga.
at the moment a position 1
Game
carry
na to,
player at the
aircon.
international, you don't know how to play SF, you got a problem. I think.
But this might be the only team that might not be true for because of how much they lane swap. That's the thing.
Sure, they do run a Shadowfiend safe lane sometimes, but then it's still Mickey playing it.
Yeah. You could just have Mika play it on the safe
Yung may
lane
aircon, puro panalo
Marcy, and then just give
Nung pinatay yung aircon,
the counter from them to
puro
play
olat
to Matu. Yeah.
Sure. There was one in stuck in my head during DPC when they picked the
Dito
hero.
ka na matulog!
I was like, yeah, I did not play that hero for like 3 years.
It was Alcat. Yeah. That was actually the major. It was at the major. He played it for the first time.
But he would play that as well. I mean,
they won.
It's Matu. He's had a long career. I'm sure he knows how to play Shadow Fiend.
Yep. Another approach that Liquid could take is to just try to play really fast with like well, Lone Druid is banned, but they could go Death Prophet again if they're still feeling confident in that, and just try to end the game relatively early.
They are just
sino?
what they're going to do here.
Liquid ako, Liquid oh. Sino laban? Liquid. Ay, Liquid
don't have a lot
ako.
of time left to do so though, because this is already their reserve time.
What about some quad, like safe lane?
Gusto ko mag-game 3.
Okay, heavy physical on their side.
Diyos ko
But
po,
this also opens
Viper.
up the roach for them quite a lot. Having Beastmaster,
Beno.
Shadowfiend plus Ursa.
Yeah, objective.
Beno na yan,
central,
Beno.
This is nuts. If they win a fight, they can get towers. They can take Roche.
Also, Ursa's a great hero. One of the only heroes who can comfortably out-damage the Frost Shield, even though it's mostly physical damage, right? Because his scaling damage with the Fury Swipes is a little bit too much to handle. It also gives them...
Sino laban, guys?
Just run out Terrorblade early on. But once Ursa gets this BKB timing, the supports are food, right? Lich is food, Snap is food, Flashback is potentially food, depending on his itemization. So it
Sino
is
laban,
nice
guys?
conceptually,
Aster
but
na pala
I am
ako,
worried that
Aster.
all of their
Kung
eyes
walang
are in one basket, which is just
Aster sa
physical
inyo,
damage.
Aster.
Get the first stages, take the map, and if they mess up even once or twice, they have no counterplay.
That's a Brewmaster. Coming out for XXS.
It's one of his signature heroes as well. He does have quite a lot of them. Broodmother, Batrider, Legion Commander, and Brewmaster as well.
I like it. You just throw the Ursa up in the air.
Yeah.
It's a really good solution, as simple as it sounds. And it's also their Wraith Pact hero, which we talked about how important it is for a team to have. It also gives them that added bit of team fight. The only issue would be having to weather the storm of Liquid's early game aggression. There is a Beastmaster, but I...
Sino? Sino ka lalaban dyan? Sino lalaban? Kaya na mamili ng side nyo. Ayoko na mamili.
Like you need Brewmaster
Pili kayo ng side nyo, guys. Sino lalaban? Kasi.
On the other side,
Tulad nung kay Boss Lester kanina.
Like these heroes are able to fight all the time. Even Shadowfiend, like yeah, you need a BKB, but you're not required to have Requiem for the fight to win it.
That sounds like an action-packed game. I know who I want to listen to when we're having an action-packed game. It's none other
PM
than
Boss,
Gunnar,
game
Trent,
2
and
Aster ako.
Lyrical.
Sige
Let's
Boss,
head over to
Gerald.
game 2.
PM ka lang. Magkano? PM ka lang sa page. PM ka lang sa page ko. Sa Abat.
And welcome back again. We're here taking a look at game number 2. You wonderful people out there, what are you giggling at?
We didn't have the hand of God, the voice of God, so we just had the nice stare.
PM mo lang sa page ko, guys. Sa Abat.
We do have a freaking awesome game, though.
Yeah.
We've got the Ursa as the last pick. I
400.
was not expecting that one. I was
Okay.
thinking some crazy, like, Tinker or magic damage hero. And they're just like, no, we're going to go and run at Roches and take down buildings. They're going to make it work. What do you guys think of the draft?
I like Liquid's way more faster paced. I think they're actually able to group up and fight. They have Beastmaster for the Vision now. They have the Ursa to force Roche and take objectives. They didn't get Aegis
Yan,
last
si
game,
Boss
I think.
Gerald, nag-PM na,
They
nag-PM.
actually have the opportunity to kind of group up and ball.
Yeah, they certainly wanted it very clearly. Aegis would have been great for them in these circumstances. So part of the issue was they were required to go for these initiations to start these fights, and they had a hard time doing it because they were certainly at a
Wala nalalaban. O, Liquid ako, Liquid. Aster na kayo.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference with the Beast to the Mars is that even if the Beast
Kaya na mamili ng ano nyo.
the Hawks give you vision. So now maybe the Marcy gets a catch, maybe the Crystal
Kaya
Maiden
na
gets a
mamili
slow.
ng team.
It's sometimes the vision is a stun enough.
Stun enough. I like that. It's a good way to describe it there. And on the other side, for Aster, you've got a very different, in some ways, looking draft, and some things that are similar. So still running with that Lesh, and then a support that mitigates the physical damage. Last time it was that spend with the Shard. This time, it's going to be that Frost Shield. And then the other big last pick that I think is really interesting hero nowadays, and what we've been seeing from it, is this Brewmaster with the Aghanim Scepter build. Really cool stuff.
We've been seeing it pop up. There's kind of two different styles of the hero I've seen. One is that they just rush Wraith Pact, and they pretty much just play to drop Wraith Pact, drop splits, just no one takes damage in the fights. You just
Sino Aster dito, guys?
And they play more of
Sino Aster?
It just gives them a lot of plays.
Sino Aster dito?
You have the Earth Spirit Panda to
Liquid ako, Liquid,
kind of just
game
give you
2.
vision, give you a stun, or you have
Game
the
2
Wind
guys,
Panda, which
Liquid.
catches
Liquid
and
ako,
dispels.
game 2.
Very nice versus a lot of the Liquid heroes. Kills all the summons from Beastmaster.
Game 2, Liquid here. Game 2, Liquid here.
the Storm Panda itself was actually probably the best thing about Brewmaster in this game.
Yeah, and
Game
that's
to
very
Liquid
interesting too,
here.
because that's been a long talking
Uy,
point in terms of
nanonood ba si Boss B?
Panda and like this idea of like, oh, you can get rid of the summons
Shoutout
and the
sa'yo,
dispels,
Boss
but of course
B.
you were always limited to it being during the ultimate. And then in that
Liquid
downtime,
kami
you didn't
kanina
have
ni
those
Boss
options, but
Bianchi.
now
Kolot
with
sa'yo.
the
Liquid
addition
ako
of the
ulit, oh!
Aster build, it's actually
Abang wala pa
something
first
being
blood.
more reliable on the hero, and at this point, it's actually brought him into being one of the more reliable heroes with a dispel.
Yeah, which again, the Ags is where you can choose one Panda to always have, even if you're not on the ult. So you can just kind of run around the whole game with the Panda, and it's leash to you similar to a Lone Druid Bear, where if it goes too far, it gets silenced. But
look at that wall of text there. It is a very complicated hero, if we're going to be real about it.
Okay, here's my big advice to Dota players. If you think a hero is too complicated to play it, just play it.
Yeah.
You'll get better. Everyone has to start somewhere. So don't be scared of the complicated heroes, because they're really fun.
I think I just teared up a little bit when you said that, Trent. What a brilliant thought to end the day off.
Just don't be on my team.
Okay, all right, got it. No, you had to ruin it, didn't you? As we take a look at this mid lane, a couple denies there coming out from Mickey. A similar story to what we saw before.
Wala nalalaban, habang wala pa first blood.
Mix-up again is that Terrorblade that got taken by Aster at that 4th pick for them. And I'm kind of a little bit concerned if this game goes later, what tools they have to deal with this. Is this a game where Terrorblade can just carry if it goes late enough?
It can. He's the type of hero, especially for Shadow Fiend. He can steal the aura, which is actually very, under talked about, where you just steal this minus armor aura from Shadow Fiend, and that's one of the big things. He does so much damage because of that, and now you have it. And he does do the same thing where he outranges these Shadow Fiend type of heroes, and he can kite the Ursa, but Team Liquid just does a lot of heroes that will latch on him and can just kill him either through Sunder or even after the Sunder happens.
Yeah.
Like the Ursa, the Beast, he gets roared, he gets attacked by the Ursa. Ursa presses BKB, and he's just kind of sitting there without much save.
It's not a safe-looking Sunder this game. If it gets off, I feel like there's still a lot of concern that could be there for you.
350 daw, 350.
Even after that
May lumaban, 350 pesos. Pwede na yun. Diba? Katuwaan lang naman, friendly game lang eh.
Is one of these Zoo heroes.
Hindi naman nagsasakitan dito eh.
And when you're constantly pushing lanes,
pampakilig lang.
The creeps just themselves give you so much vision. People are farming them if they're not. And so now that the fact that he, by himself, is able to summon illusions and kind of counteract that and even push into the Beastmaster without being there, it kind of evens up the vision game for Aster.
Yeah, it makes it so that you're not caught off guard as much by the Beastmaster, because they want to take you off even footing by just trying to upset your lane, so someone has to rotate and go deal with that. And so if you can do it with the illusions, you're going to be a lot happier. And it's another case of potentially even getting an aura taken from a Beastmaster.
The biggest question is...
Comment ka nga, Boss Gerald. Comment ka, comment.
Beast and Ursa and Shadow Fiend. They're all
Yan si
heroes
Boss
that
Gerald kalaban natin ngayon, guys.
timings where once they get that, they're able to fight for the rest of the game. Just keep fighting, keep fighting, keep fighting, keep fighting. And Aster, again, this Leshrac, they always want to go Bloodstone. They always want to hit this nice mid-game timing where they're just constantly getting stronger and stronger. And whether or not he gets the Bloodstone in time is going to be the big question.
We'll have to watch for that. How his laning stage plays out right now, a little bit behind the SF, 17-5 versus the 12-2. Nothing to super write home about, as they're doing some more of the lane pull shenanigans up top there. And the other big thing to watch for is, are we going to get some stacks? Because both of these heroes deal with it really well. As XXS just getting beat down by Boxy. Marcy's still an incredibly strong hero, and you can see he doesn't even feel like he can connect that fully through. So a bit of a tough one. Will get the Cinder Brew ignited and follow up with the Cookie, but you can see XXS just wants to keep farming. While Boxy is going to head off to the other side and maybe make that rotation towards mid.
Yeah, we see this nice move by Boxy. He does this a lot where he kind of pressures behind the tier 1 tower, either trying to aggress on the pulls or just bully the offlaner. And because of that, he ends up in the tri-camp. And now he's just behind the mid tower.
Chase, a couple punches, and Ichu able to pick up that first blood. So while everything's happened top, down bottom, take care of business.
And you can see even Boxy, he just secures the water runes now. So that Mickey's they're gonna try to fight in the water runes.
Oh, good stun. He steals it away. Bobica, but they pull him back. Ori, he's in some trouble. A couple more hits is all they need. Looking for the long range one. Can they bring him down? It is there. Mickey hits on 3. And Boxy, maybe even gonna look for more from Bobica. We'll see how it goes. But that's gonna be at least one of the water runes picked up for the SF.
some flashbacks in the last game.
Oh, okay lang. Wala, maliit lang naman
in the early game. He also killed the Lesh with this Boxy rotation.
Boxy was all over the map again as well, securing kills everywhere.
This is the Marcy factor. Yeah. Anytime, every game, especially with Marcy SF, that's why we keep seeing this combo so much. Even past the sidekick mid-game with the Shadow Fiend timing, it's just the mid lane.
I think it's funny too, because they also had these same wards, like through the river last game as well, spotting these rotations from Boxy, but Marcy's just so mobile.
Ay, maganda dito, no?
It's so fast. Even you can just TP and always be there.
They've actually watched Boxy walk his entire way up here, and he still might die.
Cookie.
Nice. Good kill as they bring him down.
They watched him walk there.
That's what needed to happen. It's a really strong combination, and playing together with that Ursa is pretty devastating. Now, this has come a little bit at the cost of Zai not having a perfectly great lane, but likewise, you know, the other two aren't doing too well either. So, Terrorblade, good start. The rest of the heroes.
Sana pala si Miracle. Wala, boss, di nakapasok TI, boss.
16-17 is one of the harder. He gets instantly counterpicked by the Terrorblade. He doesn't really get to ban.
Sila sa last chance qualifier.
Like, have a great game, Zai. You know, just
Liquid
try to go even in your lane.
See you at 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's
Liquid tsaka Secret.
Just maybe press a Hawk. Give us some vision at some point. So, all in all, his goal is mostly just get the Helm of the Dominator.
Ay, ano yung nakapasok dun sa
probably kick the Terrorblade out of the lane with the rotation.
We'll watch for that one for sure.
Ano
There's
yung
a lot
nakapasok?
of damage up there trying to go
Tundra ba?
success.
Ay, Entity pala. Entity ang nakapasok. Entity.
I'm not sure if anybody scouted that one or saw that, but Matumba Man going to be a little bit under pressure here if he's not careful.
Oh, sino habol dyan, oh? Liquid pa ako.
He might have show up and said he just
Abang kakasimula pa lang, oh.
6-minute runes were coming up, but
Lamang nga lang ako ng isang kill.
Just it was favorable for them. He does get the jump in there though. At the
round two, Raze connects. Another one is there.
Mana.
Mickey, when he comes out, this is going to be easy peasy. Walking right up close and personal. Mickey.
Kasi yung bottom kawawa din.
Boxy's been the story. He's been doing everything.
Need lang bagong team na ni Miracle, guys. Si Kuroki, wala na talaga.
He's crushing every game against Marcy. He just body blocks people. He always gets a rotation.
Yung Dota ni Kuroki, guys, pang ano na. Pang oldies. Si Papi kasi nagpa-pub game pa yun si Papi. Si Kuroki, di nagpa-pub game yun eh.
They don't need the farm. They don't have to hit the creeps.
Mga Thunders.
Chase, look for another. Have the pullback, dispose, couple more leaps, jumping around all over the place with this matchup. And XXS doing a good job of keeping his Snapfire alive. This combination of laning.
Oh, sino na laban dyan, oh?
So many years and have each other's backs.
Liquid pa ako, Liquid, oh. Lamang kayo, gold.
Just constantly, everyone's just.
Liquid pa ako, Liquid.
You just see it, the evolution of Dota. People just get so much better at these little small moves.
They went in again. I think they thought Boxy was, or Boca was gone.
Yan, pasukin mo.
Looking for the kill, get one. That's gonna be a hit.
Gigil ka na. Ang gigil ka na, Matu.
Man.
Kailangan ka na ng sambayan ng Pilipinas.
Full health, full mana. He's probably gonna TP mid.
Mid-game, come on, spam it out. I'm coming.
Maybe look for another go onto Ori too.
Okay lang, re-refill lang, easy refill.
And yeah, immediately refill bottle there.
Refill na yan, guys.
A little bit zoned out there by
Tangina, gusto ko na mag-team. Gusto ko na mag-Dota. Gusto ko na mag...
Get the juices flowing and the arcane.
Ay, naku, Ward.
That's a juicy Crystal Main, and well, she's got wind lace, but you know, she has no boots to lace, so she's still really slow.
That's true.
It's a 3v2. The 50-50, who wins?
Oh, Mickey gets it. Regen too. That would have been huge for Ori. And
gusto ko na ano guys, marinig ang mga crowd. Gusto ko nang may sumisigaw. But diba sarap sa feeling, kaso masarap sa feeling din to, patay. Ang asim naman nila lagi mag-Dota.
Take down Mickey. 9-5. And everything just happening around mid. That was a split too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was a split. So I mean, worth obviously early split to kill a mid player. You'll take.
Zai is now level 6. He's holding his point. They don't really want to go to him before the Helm of the Dominator. So Monet's just gonna kind of be very confident in his lane, farming up very nicely. He's top of the net worth and the last hits. So it's gonna be pretty much up to Monet. It's his choice of, oh, do I want to go jungle? Do I want to go top? We could even see him. Maybe in the next minute or two with the next split.
Walang primal push
to the off lane, trying to pressure
the panalo game 1. Aster po, Aster.
So breaking down these safe lanes is kind of going to be the next big goal of these teams.
Sino lalaban, oh? Liquid pa ako, Liquid, oh.
A couple other heroes up to
Liquid pa ako, Liquid, guys. Sino lalaban?
As Boxy is already over there.
500 lang, 500.
I feel like Boxy is just trying to force a TP. Like,
Yeah.
he's been under a ward for a long time. They do come and skate it out. Nice job from Insania. Gets the D ward there with the help of the Courier. Doesn't have to waste his Crystal Nova mana because he needs every little drop of mana you can get on a CM.
It feels like everyone's trying to force rotations without making them. Both of the supports sitting next to their carries in the safe lanes and they're poking, trying to make them be like, oh, we have to TP. And then that's when they flip the map.
Yeah.
But right now, everyone's just being very careful, being calculated. No one's doing anything too crazy. No one's diving towers.
I swear, this is the longest I've seen
Wala
a TV
lalaban.
in quite a
Ayaw
while.
talaga lumaban.
I feel like every time I'm watching TV, he's getting set. I mean, he usually was like more of a draft priority, I guess, right? He was being banned more often, so now that he's picked a bit later, actually getting a chance to farm the creep waves is pretty crazy.
And in the meantime, Zai is just farming up that stack right there. A nice little injection of gold for himself. As he's going to try and claim the rest of these. 3 points up in the axes. And the CM Aura certainly helping along the way, as there's also a good ancient stack there. So this is going to be the Helm of the Dominator coming out
1K,
for
boss.
Zai.
PM mo sa page ko, boss.
We are
Labanan
still
ko yan.
waiting for that push out of that safe lane.
PM mo sa page. Kasi yan, kasi.
Monet has made a bit of a
Kasi mo na
rotation into
1K
the
mo,
jungle
boss.
now.
Game labanan kita.
So this game, Liquid is actually going to play for a
Pag walang
slower
kasi,
timing. If anything, it looks like
no fight.
Batu is going to go for a Battle Fury on the Ursa. They're playing to not feel pressured. The one really nice thing
PM
about
mo
it is
sa
now
page,
Brew
boss. John
cannot
Cleo
end the split early.
Ford.
The Ags doesn't give you the ability to end the split, so it's always the full duration. So once he gets BKB Battle Fury, he can just clear through the Primal split, and there's nothing he can do about it.
Big smoke down bottom.
PM na ba si
And
Jan?
Aster won't
Cleo
manage to find anybody except for maybe Insania here, who's hanging out mid. They run into him. Cookie won't quite connect. Does have the split earth, but it's not there either. So Aster miss on everything. But Zai, in the meantime, you see he's going to finish off that ancient stack. They'll use the glyph here, take down the tower.
They are glyphing as well for the Radiant, though, of course, because mid lane, they got the Catapult, they got Shadow Fiend, and Boxy's hiding behind the trees, but it's a Brewmaster, and he goes instantly for the split.
And Boxy gets a little bit of a separation, haste away from SF. They're clear.
Wala naman si John Cleo Ford. Di
He was
naman
trying to hope to
nag-PPM.
dispel the haste, I think, but Mickey got away, and Boxy kind of made the space for him to be able to run.
Yeah, there was even a sentry down, too, in case he tried to go for, like, a Storm Panda play or something.
Monet makes
the worst to like not get a kill with a Brew split this early. I feel like you defended the tower, right? It was a one hero rotation to ensure that it stayed up.
I think it also feels good just because they were able to make a move to their safe lane and take the tower. So again, now Monet's kind of, once you take this offlane tower, your carry's able to freely leave the lane. It's a lot easier to push the lane out so that you have way more time before your tower gets hit. Now he can just TP, he can farm the Ancients.
Snapfire ulti down onto Mickey, trying to catch him. Slowed down for the moment.
Oh,
Boxy under fire will get brought down, and Mickey dropped the Requiem. A quick connection for the kill. As, again, supports die, but a bunch of big ultis used on Aster.
Okay, it actually feels crazy to me that an Ursa takes the 1.75 mana regen with a Battle Fury and a Crystal Maiden on this team.
Yeah.
It's really the reset time's that bad. Is that how bad that talent is?
It depends on a lot of the matchups in the game, mostly. It's more if you can't really latch onto a hero. I've seen it a lot versus like a Medusa, because when she pops her Stone Gaze, you have to reset.
Right.
You have the ability to take these really long fights. But I think Liquid's kind of hoping to just be able to roar someone, he gets on them, and that's all that matters. He just will kill them in a roar.
He just wants to spam. He just wants to farm it up on this Ursa, so Matu just all the mana in the world for this bear.
And you can see that Zai also going for a little bit of an unorthodox build from what we've seen before on these Beastmasters, going 4-4-0, so not really opting to get that physical damage boost up. They still will get some good pressure onto that bottom tier 1 tower here now.
Yeah, a lot of the time where Beastmasters, when they're getting early picked, the idea was that you'd pick an illusion hero, because that would be able to kill the boars in the lane, and it would kind of, counter them. So the change was that Beastmasters started maxing axes because the illusion heroes have high armor but low health pools. So it's pretty much just a change to deal with the Terrorblade in the lane. That's why he was actually able to last it, and that's why his game is actually not terrible.
Okay
It's actually better than the Brewmasters.
Yeah. Right.
So it was a nice adjustment to the lane and the game.
So Aster, as they move up towards the north, Boxy runs in a Boba cut.
The instant turn.
Everybody's afraid.
That's just the tail of this game, huh? Yeah, we're just relaxing here. Vision-wise, it's like we have a slight edge in terms of those deep wards. It's kind of been the constant through this whole match.
Sulitin, dapat hindi na mawawatay si Boxy dito, guys. Puro physical sila eh. Wala silang magic.
down bottom. Success queuing up, trying to finish off that raid pack.
Again, this game, Liquid is going to be the team that's playing for controlling areas of the map. Shadow Fiend doesn't have a jump, Beastmaster doesn't go blink for a while, Ursa has a Battle Fury. They want to hold either their jungle with their Ancients, or they want to hold, you know, probably the Radiant big jungle in the bot lane. And on the side of Aster, they just hit their timings and they want to just keep going. Every time they have Split, once they have this Bloodstone, once Monet, every time he has meta, he's able to walk into Roche, he's able to walk into towers. So we're going to see Aster's going to try to do a lot more of the aggressive plays, and Liquid's going to try to keep getting their timings, keep farming up, play a slightly slower game, but they always want to be ready to fight.
I feel like these fights are going to get pretty wild once they start happening, though. Like, like, look how this Lich wants to play this fight, right? Yeah. This Chain Frost just bouncing around, as well as the Frost Shield, doing so much work in this game.
The Lich is a similar replacement to the Sven from last game, where it just kind of enabled his team to walk in and just never die to the physical damage, specifically from the SF. And now there's SF and Ursa.
Si Boss Jero, so Boss Lester, good luck sa atin, boss. Good luck.
He's able, with his Bloodstone, I think he can probably just walk into 4 or 5 heroes and probably survive.
And like, they
Sila
need
lang
to
yung
clump,
umabot
right?
sa
Like,
kalaban natin,
Beastmaster,
guys.
they tend to really get in there, and so
even all the summons.
that Chain Frost goes in there, like, hopefully the summons are going to have to tank some of this up, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's going to be the thing that they
hope
to have happen. The other thing to watch for, again, is that whereas Sven in last game, you had that AoE extra survivability. For this, it's just that Frost Shield and a single target. So maybe you can, you know, change up their target prioritization a little bit depending on how it goes.
Ooh, excess rating.
Okay, they get out the ulti. Can they get away on Matumba Man with everybody rotating in? This was a nice move by Aster. They'll take down the bear. Huge kill.
This is where Liquid would typically run right out. They're hesitating, right? They're thinking about it. They start going, they stop, go, stop.
Can they find one in return, though? Sania right on top. The stun, it doesn't connect, but the Requiem. Very nicely played with the dispose. Double ulti for the kill. And now more chasing going on, as they do have a stomp available. XXS kind of in a weird spot now. Connects with the stun. The rest of the team trying to catch up and get into position. They're a little ways away, but they got him. The pullback. Have dispose for round 2. Pull him in, and Sania's there. Cookie for round 3. Can they kill her off?
Pati nga, kung totoo yung 100% win rate ng CM. Ay, good luck, Boss Lester. Maraming salamat sa pag-share ng ating stream. Patingin nga kung 100% win rate yung CM in this TI. Kasi lahat na nag-CM, puro panalo eh. Tignan na natin kung totoo.
So, I think that's also kind of an indicator of how they want to play. Generally, you go Dragland.
You know?
The value add.
Wag. Wala kayong kahit ano dyan, par.
It's bitten off a little bit more than they could chew there on Ori. There's no SF, means not an easy chance for a kill. And of course, as we saw, the Frost Shield makes it tough.
But now Roche is starting to
and there's no secrets here. They're seeing everything with the board down on Aster. They're going to move their way right to the pit.
Starting to build up. So far, they hit him with both. Chain Frost round 3. Can they get him? Yes, they will.
Yan ang maganda doon. Wala ring ulti. Walang primal. Walang kahit ano ulti.
Does have to run. Look at Boxy go.
Lah!
Still chasing.
Boxy, ginawa mo.
Trying to get away.
Talon! Putang ina mo! Nice one! Tang ina.
That was so sick.
Ang lupit mo. Uy, shoutout sa'yo, Boss Gab! Boss Gab, guys, nanonood. Yan, tanongin nyo si Boss Gab ngayon, guys. Pwede kayo mag-comment. Oy, no! Ay, no! Uy, gago. Nakuha mo yung ano? Aegis, okay. May Aegis tayo dyan, pare! Aegis tayo dyan, pare ko! Tingnan natin kung totoo yung 100% win rate ng CM. Rekem. Atras na. Ay, anong atras, sabat? Lalaban to, boy! Lalaban to, boy! Sa loob ng aking passenger seat na roll four-seater para meron tayong space sa likod.
I don't even know how he does it. No HP that entire fight, keeps coming back in for the rebounds, abusing those low cooldowns. And
guys, nanonood si Boss Gab, guys. Pwede nyo natanongin si Boss Gab kung ano yung magiging team niya next DPC.
It looks a little scary. BKB was cooldown, so when he dies the first time, there's a chance they burst him, but
yan ang bossing natin, guys. Boss Gabi.
That was so long ago now, it feels like, when this all began.
Tangin na mo, wala ka pang BKB. Umaharap ka ng ganyan. Para ka talagang nababaliw ka na niyan. Pero kung may primal split yun, gagubos tayo dun. Galing na yun to. Ginawa niya dito. Oh, ano?
Then he returns twice more as well from Boxy. Just absolutely ridiculous.
Well, and that's so important because the Marcy just being able to give that sidekick over to these cores is so much of what makes this hero insane in the later stages.
And it's what helped finish the Rosh off, right? And then this is where things look scary. Tina gets have a full ulti. Thing just keeps on going.
Ano meaning ng DPC, boss? Di ko alam kung ano meaning ng DPC.
And then manages to walk out as well at low HP.
I think one of the cool things, which is it's actually what started this fight, and it's why Boxy lived, is that he is a casual cloak. There's actually 3 of them in this game, both Ori and the Lich.
Sobrang tagal ng team fight, yung meta puto doon na rin
A
tapos.
lot of the teams have started to do, they pick a lot of these early game damage.
Tanggalin mo kaya ano mo sa tenga mo, Meg.
In the early game, not just these casual cloaks can turn these fights. He has 50 HP. That's purely because of the cloak he buys. And it turns the whole fight around. Boxy being able to live there.
Yeah, well, he's feeling very magical right now as Mickey eyeing up the Arcane Blink as well. It's come up after this. Has the Fairies Trinket, so the full mage build is in effect.
Dota Pro Circuit. Ayun pala, Dota 2 Pro
Circuit. See
Circuit.
a game number 3, as we always do in these pivotal matchups here for the upper bracket. See if it ends up happening or not, but a BKB completed on the Ursa. And the next couple of minutes, I want to see where this item progression goes for the Terrorblade. What he ends up looking towards next. That Scotty, obviously, really important.
Kailangan matalunan. Kailangan mamatay si Amei pag natalunan ng Ursa. Pag di namatay si Amei na pag natalunan ng Ursa, wala. It's over.
If the fight's not good, you don't get a great burst on an important target. That's where a Terrorblade can really start turning around this fight with that Scotty. You just get kited out. You can't finish things off the way you want to.
I think it's probably going to be a BKB after the Scotty.
Uy, thank you 75 stars, Boss Luis, Rian Mendoza. Yan guys, bigay lang kayo dyan ng stars guys.
You always get your Sunder off, but now we see a smoke from Liquid.
And that Radiant scan connected, so they knew this was coming, and instead they're trying to counteract it. They are going to make the call to head down for this bottom lane. They run right into Mickey. He will back out of there. Zai also standing steady.
Wala kayong...
But everybody just back behind the tower. Now, Terrorblade is not here. Can TP into the fight. Might be a little bit scary. Insania.
Wala kayong kahit ano.
Big ulti, but he doesn't get it off in time to stop
the
split.
takbo na!
Still be enough. The Tumba Man trying to beat through those Brewlings, but they didn't get the Earth Panda. Now, Sapphire Ultimate still has Enraged.
Okay, antayin nyo lang, antayin nyo lang.
All the big ultis out.
Kaso nakagamit din tayo BKB.
But the BKB
yun pala ngayon, okay. So, maganda pala yung buo ni Mickey ngayon. Magano siya, yung dagger na mabilis, yung Arcane Blink.
Feels scary though, without Bruce Split. It's not easy to have a good fight.
I guess the danger of having the Leshrac and all the power that he can bring to the fight if they can get on top of that SF could be pretty huge.
They're just going to play the game to get this Leshrac BKB. He's going to get it in 300 gold, but yeah, this Arcane Blink on Shadowfiend is pretty interesting. I think the idea of it is either A, to try to burst the Brewmaster before he gets ult off, or B, burst the Terrorblade before he gets spells off. It's pretty much just a bursting tool to kill one hero. It's similar to the Yule, Future Travel, Blink, 1000 HP Shadowfiends that were running around back.
Pag may Arcane Blink na yung si Mickey dito, magagawa na nila yung ganun.
It's not as cool these days.
Well, apparently it's pretty cool.
Walang nakatantos sa game to na to, diba?
No Yules, no Boots of Travel.
Walang nakatantos.
It's a little mixture of a build. So this one, it actually scales relatively similar to how the physical does in terms of strength, but in a very different way. So,
Boxy setting this up. Expose, big jump, big burst. Does have that Wraith pack down. That's just and immediately just going to run away. But bottom lane, they're getting some good pressure onto that tier 2 tower. We'll throw out the Frost Shield, keep it alive a little bit more against the Helm though.
Chain Frost ginagamit na sa Crips, oh. Nasa mali na yan pagka ganyan. Pag ang Chain Frost ginagamit na sa Crips, nasa mali na yan, pare. Pag may Arcane Blink na yung SF, yung TV dito, parang nalantang gulay na to. Bite lang, ay first skill, ay rebound, sabay ulti ng SF. Arcane Blink lang. Arcane Blink, kayo naman yung mambigla, please. Kanina nabibigla kayo ng panggo. Stay alive. Stay alive. Stay alive.
Coming out on the courier now. Still hanging on to these big towers.
Stay alive. Stay alive.
Which is pretty cool.
Stay alive. Isang roar lang naman lahat yan, lahat ng core. Kahit sinong core na gusto nilang patayin, isang roar lang. Yan na, tulad yan. Naku po, yan na naman si Lod. Tangina talaga, di na naman nag-BK.
That shark cookie hop looks so goofy. Like a big old arc up in the air.
Ang kulit ni Mato mag-Dota, pre. Nangyari kay Mato.
The cast point of it is so fast, it always catches people off guard.
Tangina yung lamang na naman nila na wala na naman na parang bula.
Yeah, I would agree. Usually they're like hanging back or they just die right away. You don't really expect him to be a shadow shaman.
This arcane blink is now gonna be completed with Roche.
Tatawa ko kay Mato sa ginagawa niya. Kanina pa yung game 1. Ayop yung BKB. Ay, pipindutin mo lang naman yun eh.
Max burst potential. A interesting option and definitely gonna need that Terrorblade to get into the BKB.
Diba guys? Pipindutin mo lang naman guys.
The level 20 timing is
yan, smoke kayo dyan, smoke. Kailangan nyo mag-smoke.
Because it increases the amount of time you can be feared. I think by like 1.2 seconds or something.
Sana di na lang siya nag-dagger, sana nag-basher na lang siya.
So once you arcane blink with an Ags, it's about 4.5.
Yun! Rikem! Yun maganda doon, pare! Yan, di ba? Arcane blink ang importante. Arcane blink is the best, dude. Sheesh, bro. Sheesh.
0.8 seconds of cast point for the Shadow Fiend.
Pero yaman ni ano? Yaman ni Monai.
Just like that, you can see the value
Monai.
of this arcane blink. I don't think I've seen an item to get picked up and then used immediately that effectively before in a while.
Okay lang yan. Isang hex lang yan mamaya. Isang roar lang yan mamaya. Sabay Requiem. Hex Requiem, patay ka na. Patay ka na naman, boy. Hinahaboy. May nip yan, boy. Hindi maaabutan kahit faceless, boy. Tunay na. Asa kapag itang ina ka, babalik ang ita. Pag tinamaan lang ng ano yan, rebound ulit. O kaya roar. Isang roar lang lahat yan,
pa.
pa.
Again, Aster doesn't have the greatest jump, or he has queued up that blink. He is going to try to be the guy who goes in there and starts the fights for his team. But they're just kind of hoping
start to fight for his team,
and they're able to take the fights like
able
that.
to take a fight like that. Right? You know, I mean, yeah.
Even on the bottom, Batu walks up on the high ground, they get 2 kills, and they just walk away and get more farm.
I mean, I think the big benefit and the change that we're seeing this time is, of course,
holding him. Okay, not.
Dead. Fucking all dead.
Let's run into this hill now.
Fucking all dead.
All dead. That's great.
Fucking all dead. Ang ganda ng call na yun ha. Fucking all dead. Dalawa lang napatay.
That Beastmaster, having those hawks get sent forwards, they get a little bit better.
Ang ganda ng comms pala call. Fucking all dead. 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 All dead. All dead. Fucking all dead.
Kept blind walking the war. They blind walk into the Pango. He always gets roll off. Aster, the Brewmaster
liquid na to, boss. And huwag na tayo pa kayo sigurado. Kahapon nga, Fnatic tsaka Gaming Gladiators na-comeback pa eh. Puso comeback, guys. Huwag lang dito.
If the Ursa Panda is the only one alive, it doesn't do anything besides stand there.
Especially versus an Ursa. You know, if he spots that Panda, the thing's just gone.
Oh, for sure. Well, still playing around their vision right now. Aster, they bring out another blink dagger. This time I believe this is Ori. So mass amounts of blinks, looking for the outplays. And as you mentioned, the casual cloaks here and there might turn those into bigger items eventually. Smoke up as they're going to head up north. As Roche has respawned, we'll have to see if there is going to be that big pivotal fight or not around this war.
See if the evasion can save XSS here. He's got the talent for the +1x brood up.
Dapat binabantayan nila yan kung gusto pala nila ng gusto pala nilang ano yun, alagaan yung.
And that will be the death of the CM, but do they still want to fight?
Bago may ano yan.
Looking for a chase, they buy back on the CM. TPing in for this fight. Mickey looking for the blink. They still keep them backing away, and XXS in trouble. Aeon disc summons. Thinks about popping the ulti, but doesn't.
Gago yung sa likod.
Sapphire ultimate, 4-staff, separating this. Zion trouble, roar. Immediately, Mickey gets it, the stun on everybody, but it's not.
Gago talaga! Nababaliw na sila na naman.
But Tumbaman TP's out.
Ang gulo ng teamfight ng Liquid.
But so much used by Liquid, and they still ended up.
Ang gulo. Ang gulo lagi ng teamfight nila, ba't ganun?
Damage on Monet. He has the Titan Silver, so it takes a little less magic, a little less stun from the fear.
Gago ka talaga, Dok. Yan, kailangan nilang ano yan. Kailangan nilang ilaban yan. May Obs. May Sentry. Meron lahat. Maganda dito. Walang may BKB sila. Naku po, ang aga mo, boss. Boss, ang aga niyan, boss. Tangin na talaga ng Liquid. 1 by 1 na naman sila. Naku po, nadamay pa si Boxy. Ang pangat nila lumaban pa. Nami-pressure sila, no? Siguro dahil maraming crowd, pero ayaw mo na.
Into the pit they go, and Aster, after on the back foot for so much this game, waiting for that perfect moment, they find it. What a great way to bait that entire fight staring at the outpost.
Unreal.
Sobrang ano rin, sobrang crucial din ng Aeon Disc, ano? Di pa nila na-de-word yung word, oh. Sa taas. Tanga na yan. Baka makapag-Dota kayo dyan.
I mean, the biggest question now, I think, is the Ags is really important. Mickey needs this Ags. It does two things. It makes the fear come back in after it goes out, and it also reduces the cooldown, which means that you can use it every single fight. You don't have to worry about it. And the biggest thing as well...
may reduce ba sa cooldown yun? Yung ano? Ulti na SF?
When his whole build is...
Pag nakakaganis? Reduces cooldown. Oo nga, no? 70 seconds lang.
Or he just blinks on him and
Ganda pala nun.
he doesn't have the physical damage to deal with him. He doesn't have a pike. He doesn't have a way to kind of disengage from the fight, so he's just stuck there.
1,500 more.
Tangina bomba.
And we'll see if that's going to be enough to get him where he needs to be. Does hit that level 20 now.
Gago ka talaga, Dok.
Still not an easy position to be in. As May runs into the SF, no way to break that TP, obviously. And man, yeah, this Lich, you choose so many of these times, has been the difference.
Sayang yung golden nila, oh. 5K.
There really hasn't been an answer for it.
Sobrang ano lang ng ano nila, ng kanilang team fight. Sobrang pangit.
It is really nice for it. It gives them the magic damage to kill. But it hasn't really been enough, and it's actually just been enough to
kailangan ng aganims na ni Mickey.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of just like last
pinipilit ata kasi nila
good idea in terms of like how to make
yung ward. Kung gusto pa nila protektahan yung ward dun sa taas kanina. Uy, shoutout sa'yo, Boss J! Salute! Shoutout sa'yo, Boss J. Aking Boss J de los Reyes. Yan, dapat! Ina! Sinaglit lang, oh. Yan, Hellfire, pre. Hellfire talaga yan.
Well, this game still on a knife's edge. They have the Aegis on terribly, but we've seen the power that you can have.
Kaya pa talaga, Dok. Kaya pa talaga to, Dok. Kayo bahala, boss. Kung saan nyo gusto mag-bet, kayo bahala. Hindi naman ako nagbe-bet, guys. Tamang watch lang tayo.
He's probably going to look to wait for Ori to get alive and then try to maybe even push the mid. Frax, I don't really see a way for them to kill him twice. I think to kill him once, they have to use the Shadow Phenol, and I mean,
Dogs, di ka talaga, Dok.
Especially if he hasn't used his BKB.
Yeah, feels like it's...
Madali lang mamatay na si Mona,
everyone around him.
Kailangan lang maror. Pag naror, Dagger Requiem. Patay na. It's over. It's over for him.
Still sitting there on XXS. You can see that still a very even game here. And Brewmaster is going to
even lang
Scepter himself next. And they will kill off
all
Yeah, at the same time, Aster doesn't feel the need to force plays if they don't...
Makuha lang din yung nullifier ni Ursa.
They still have so much of the map under their control. They're still kind of getting a gold advantage. So...
Tignan mo yung kapatid mo si Atoro, boss. True. Pineltokan kahapon ni Jackie. Sabi ni Jackie, sinampal eh. Pag nasampalin ko kayo ng SF ko, mga putang ina nyo. Yan, kahit lang, kahit.
Rooted, Manta. Man trying to deal with these illusions.
Kahit hit, Jonathan, kahit hit.
And a chance, a burst.
Uy, gago ka naman talaga, BKB muna bago ulti! Yan sa Tanic!
Keeping him alive, but the Spaghetti is doing too much. Slowly burning them down one by one. They need to jump
Tang
in.
inantanga ni Mato, no?
I don't know if they have the damage. Mickey thought about it, gets the blink canceled, has to run away. They buy back on Matumba Man.
Tang ina mo, Mato. Kanina ka ba? Hago ka, Mato. Thunders, pre.
Builds it up. Man to touch to get away. They don't have enough. Sunder 7 seconds off cooldown.
Thunders na si Mato, par.
And in fact, he's just going to walk away. Aster, come in, get what they came for, secure that first set of racks.
Actually, just like teasing.
Kita nyo yun? Tangin na pre, Thunders.
Come on, get you convinced that, okay, we can get the kill without using the Rec Room, right? That's what we need in this case. But Aster, the entire time through the series, like, the way that they read the fights, it feels perfect. They correctly analyze
okay lang yan, guys. Unfortunate lang.
And the positioning by Ori, like, I feel like
may mga ganun, ano talaga, pinili niya talagang ano muna, pinili niya ulti. Kasi pag next fight wala siyang BKB, ganun din mangyayari sa kanya. Negets ko naman yung ginawa ni Mato.
That's what gives them the racks in the back.
It's also, they use the Aegis at the most annoying timing to push with an Aegis. Yes. There's about 50 seconds to a minute left on it. Oh, yeah. So you kill them and you're like, okay, well, we just wasted spells.
Puro nasa low bracket yung mga crowd favorites. Bakbakan sa low, kaya nga eh. Lower bracket, susunod pa tong Liquid.
Of course, that is what ended up happening this time.
Tulog muna ako, guys. Nantok ako bigla.
Another pivotal Roche fight for the next couple of minutes here when that does come back around. But a 10k gold lead. Aster was able to secure off that with a couple of buybacks spent to boot. Liquid, you got to be feeling a little bit afraid at this stage. But they do get the BKB completed on the Beastmaster now. Many BKBs online.
It feels like this next Roche for Liquid is the big one.
This Roche is really important just because of how...
Share mo naman yan, Boss John Clyde.
They need a BKB versus every single hero on Aster. They need to use Shadow Fiend
Shoutout na
to
din
get a kill.
sa'yo.
They need to use Roar to get a kill. So anytime they have 2 lives, they have buybacks, they're fighting, even if they're fighting in the Aster base.
Wala kasi napaparm yung phosphor eh. Gawa lang.
Aster has compared to Liquid.
And Liquid currently no gem, so
anong tukor sila eh. So wala talaga mapaparm si Boxy dito. Taga-setup lang siya. Hindi nga siya yung pambakbakan na Marcy.
Give them the edge when it comes to prepping and setting for the next Roche fight. Scythe as well there too, so all that pressure of the perfect fight for Liquid. Great item for breaking that up. You know, your combo breaker's the Aeon disc, but at the same time, you're gonna have that Scythe.
Paano kaya ito mananalo, no? Kailangan talaga si Ame yung maror, ma-burst. Ibigay nyo na lahat ng pwedeng ibigay kay Ame.
This blink Scythe is just...
It's careful. Insania, it's the first one they find. The cookie away, that gives some vision, but they're barely able to catch.
Sobrang layo.
The Sinister Gaze is enough.
Walang ano yun ah. May range ba yun? May cast range? Sa talent?
They know where they are. They saw the couriers moving to their ward right now. So they're running up here and catch that.
Ayun, radius nga.
Get the D ward up on the high
ground.
ground.
Wala naman, ba't ang layo nun?
Continue the bully. And an AC almost completed.
Monet.
Si
Monet.
What is their timings that makes them feel like it changes anything? And are they too far away? So Mickey's going for a sheep, which I think
Roar!
a lot.
Maror lang si may tuloy si Monet. Maror lang si Monet, tapos na.
3,000 gold away from their items. And I don't think they'll have the time to wait for these items, so they have to decide whether are they giving up Roche and taking the items, or are they going to try to force a fight and just take a proper positioning fight, which is also another option because again, Liquid can win a fight based on positioning.
Yeah, if they get that big jump.
If they get the jump, if they get the burst, the Terror Blade dies, maybe he doesn't have a buyback.
Yun naman talaga eh. Yun lang yung win condition nila, mamatay yung TV. Pag buhay yung TV, pagkasampalin ko kayo ng TV ko, mga putang ina nyo. Ganun yung yun! Bumili ng item, putang ina mo ka, mahuli ka lang Monet, tapos itong Dota na to. Beastmaster pa man din sila. Ma-burst lang to si Monet, prar. Bumili ng item, walang buyback. Smoke na kayo.
Also, something cool is Monet has a blink dagger.
Smoke na kayo, smoke.
I think his idea is even if you blink on the Shadow Fiend, if he doesn't get the arcane
blink,
huwag na kayo
umakit dyan sa high ground, wala kayong vision.
Use it as fast and you kind of force it so once Shadow Fiend gets
Roar sabay GG call. Oo, walang buyback si Ame oh. Ay si Monet. Ay naka si Monet tsaka Ame yan na ano. Ame, Monet. Ba't kasi lagi may Nay?
So all these blink daggers
Anay.
now on both
Anay.
the Lush and the Terror are going to kind of cancel that out.
Unfortunately, it feels like a lot of their cores feel that way, you know? I mean, I guess Zai is the
Yun
one
lang
who
win condition
maybe
nila,
gained a little bit
ma-burst
of
lang yung
outside
TV. Wala nang iba.
Pretty much the only one. And of course, you see
Kaso ang
those
galing ni
hawks
XXS eh, siya
flying
yung
over the
umaharap
top.
eh.
They do scout
Kaya
out
napapatay sa
that
kanya, meron na
Aster
siyang
sitting
Aeon
in
Disc,
the
meron siyang
exact
ano.
same spot where they were last game. They get
Alam mo
into the
papatay.
MKB for the Ursa.
At makakais pa Beast Coast sa EG. Feeling ko lang, Beast Coast nga, kung papipiliin nga ako dyan, Beast Coast ako dyan.
Really furnishing the environment. It's nice.
Kung nagbibet pa ako guys eh.
Oh, interesting. The Timeless Relic
Beast
is
Coast
given
ako
to,
dyan.
Insania, which is really nice for his slows, and then the Spell Prism for Mickey.
Looking for a big wraparound here from Liquid as Aster
Ang
on the
lagay ng
other
word
side of
dyan,
it.
bes.
We'll have to see if they want to head on up and find a way in the pit, but the Terrorblade already seen that Roche is backed up. Monet is just going to keep
Wala na.
waiting for them to come.
Dami ng pera ulit ni Monet.
They just need to catch the right hero on Aster.
Kanya lahat eh.
If they catch the Brewmaster, sad. He has
Kanya
Amber.
lahat ng farm.
If they catch the support and you have to use your ult on him, it's also kind of sad because now you can't use him on the cores. So you have to catch the Terrorblade or you have to
Gago
catch
yung
the
base nyo.
Aster's just in such a nice position that Terrorblade illusions are breaking everything so they can't sneak Roche. They're playing under their wards. They're playing
Gago yung
as
base
fives,
nyo,
so
Doc.
they constantly have to walk into the team. They're even pressuring the base with the illusions. There's just so many things that is kind of pulling Liquid apart just around the map.
Level 20 pa naman na yung TV.
On Monet as well, so that very small window but could have been hazardous is now gone too.
A minute and a half left on Ursa's, but doesn't have the gold to get there once it comes back up again.
Naghihintay na lang matalo yung Liquid, boss. True.
He's got heroes on both sides. He's ninja geared there, just smoked up, hanging out, making sure that the Hawks don't spawn anything.
Arantado ka talaga, Doc.
You're gonna get. They fully recognize this is the only way they lose this fight.
This is the most.
Pero wala pa nanalong ano eh, TV sa Chinese eh.
That's after last game.
Exactly, right?
Exact same thing.
They know that this is the only way it works. Creeps hit in the
Tayo
tier
na
4
lahat
towers.
ng lane naka-push out.
They're literally gonna lose their base.
Kailangan nilang
if
ano
they
yan.
don't make a move. And Liquid, they just can't. They're stuck in a chokehold. Matumba Man heads back, and now they're all alone.
The second they see the TPs, they just walk into Roche.
Aster, ready to go. Matumba Man and the rest of them are going to need to get back out.
Wala na, bigay talaga yung Roche.
It's not going to come quickly enough.
I believe it's Shadow Fiend himself.
Gago babalik. Mato naman!
Such clean.
Patayin nyo na yung ano, si Ori.
Aster.
Oh, he wants that Agnes Blessing. He's taking it.
And now smoke up from Aster. We'll see if they make the move.
I'm the Shadow Fiend now. I got the Terror Wave.
They find one. It's XXX.
Yung mo, inaharap mo lang na exit yun.
Ori moves on in. PKB already out. Matumba Man runs away the Terror Wave. Walk forward. The frost shield.
May
It's
cheese
not
pa yan.
quite enough from Matumba Man. And now the Hex.
Wala na,
The turn. They chase him down. They kill him out. No buyback for 2 minutes. And just like that, Aster take a dominant control over this game. 20K.
Ang galing ng Aster, sobrang disiplinado. Sobrang disiplinado ng mga muka.
Pulls him out. Nicely done. But the chase
on the Marcy.
And they're ready to go for the next round. Up to the high ground. Aster, they can feel it now.
Zai's in behind, but no roar here. Just has to watch, see if they can find a plan. He's just in the fountain.
Wala, Doc. GG talaga, Doc.
Matumba Man does.
Yan tinatawag na GG, well played, Doc.
Gold, but it's not going to come soon enough. Aster, they're not going to give him the time. The 4 staff keeps Insania alive, but on to the tier 4 towers now. Aster, the last team in the upper bracket from China. Head on in. Mickey goes with the big ulti. Isn't going to be enough, though.
Kaya pa.
Immediately turns to fight. Looks for some
Magiging
more.
kaya yan.
He's actually not hitting the throne right now.
Malabo yan.
Ready to battle. Heads on
Ng
towards
40.
the ancient. They start beating away at it. Eyes on the prize. The chain
Eyes on the
between the
prize.
two of them. And with that weight the fear, they move away. Another round of it. Jump forward, but GG is called. Aster, they win the game. They win the series 2-0 over Liquid.
GG, kids.
Really nice performance from Aster. I think, especially the way they play the mid-game.
So, thank you guys sa lahat ng nanood.
Slow in their holding areas in the map, and they force the lanes. Always pushing the lanes out with the Terrorblade, always forcing Liquid to have to TP back, make moves out, and then Aster's always getting the things that they want.
Yeah, Monet played a fantastic macro game there on the Terrorblade, right? Like, both this concept of like how important he is in the fights and where his position is in terms of the stack of the priority, the kill that needs to happen there from Liquid, and always being in a safe position, but still keeping those lanes in a state where they're always in an advantage. And again, that patience. I mean, I've like I don't even remember last time I've seen like that early in the game. That was like a 60 or 70 minute play. You know, you're sitting there for that long. But to do that at this point in the game was very impressive.
Well, Aster, they keep up this momentum as like we said, last Chinese team in the upper bracket. Liquid will drop down now after a really powerful group stage. Going to have to collect their bearings and get ready for those matches as well. But for now, as the players congratulate each other, we're going to head on back to the panel. As we see him actually one last time again, the crowd really appreciating the pressure that we've been seeing from him. You know, the thing to me that I will just mention real quickly about Aster is this is a team that, again, they were enemies previously. Last TI, you had Monet that ended up, you know, needing to sort of make a really solid change. Ori that was a standout performer. I think that at least now, top 6 guaranteed. It's been an amazing year for them.
Yeah, even the last major, I think they got top 3.
Yeah.
So the group stage, I feel like they were one of the silent teams in the group stage. They were always at the top 1 or 2 of their group. They were always looking really good, but no one really talked about them, I feel.
Tulog muna, guys!
Destroying. Liquid's looking really good.
Thank you sa lahat na nanonood.
Top of the group.
Bye-bye.